दोनों ही चल रहा है। Shri, एक second. I want confirmation that Shri Arun Sahu is coming.
चटाई स्टेट मिनिस्टर बोलो ना डेप्यूटी फेप्यूटी छड़े दो
Good afternoon. The first two rows are reserved only for the speakers. I humbly request members of the audience who are not speakers to please seat themselves after the first two rows. The first two rows are reserved for speakers. I request members of the audience who are not speakers to please seat themselves from the third row onwards. I request everyone to kindly be seated. Please put your phones on silent. We are ready to begin. I request audience members who are seated towards the rear of the room to please come and seat themselves in the front. To the podium, sir. A round of applause, please. Sir, would you like to address the gathering, please? All right. All right, sir. To begin the session, I welcome Shri Gopal Prasad, Economic Advisor, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, to set the context for the session and present the Ministry's vision for urban capacity building. The first deliberation will adopt a deliberative format with representatives of the Mahua Centers of Excellence and Ampur Center of Excellence for Urban Planning and Development to identify key challenges opportunities, and actionable solutions. Allow me to introduce the panel for this session. Dr. Subroto Chattopadhyay is Chairman, Department of Architecture and Regional Planning, IIT Kharagpur, where he steers academic curricula and executive education through the Center of Excellence in Urban Planning. He has led major research and appraisal assignments, including reviews of PMAY and Amrut, translating field evidence into teaching materials and case studies. He also oversees advanced courses for mid-career planners and architects, strengthening practitioners' capabilities across the sector. A round of applause, please. Dr. Sanjukta Bhaduri serves as Professor and CEO, Center of Excellence in Urban Planning and Design at SPA Delhi, where she coordinates national capacity building initiatives. She leads SPA's Design Innovation Center and UGC-funded Swayam program to develop MOOCs on city planning, overseeing modular training, workshops in GIS, and municipal finance and policy, as well as applied research that strengthens curricula and knowledge networks for Indian cities. A round of applause for Dr. Bhaduri. Dr. P.P. Anil Kumar serves as Chairperson, Center of Excellence in Urban Planning and Design at NIT Calicut, leading a newly established COE that delivers specialized courses and workshops for local government engineers, planners, and architects. His center focuses on GIS-enabled planning, sustainable development, and land use regulation, strengthening regional capacity by convening academia, government, and industry to provide continuous professional learning for urban planning practitioners. Dr. Shubhranshu Goswami serves as head CEPT professional programs at CEPT University, leading continuing education for built environment professionals. He designs tailored certificate courses across planning, housing, water, sanitation, and advances CEPT training footprints through high-impact short courses, hands-on training, and MOOC modules. Working closely with government agencies, he develops practitioner-oriented programs that address current urban challenges and strengthens institutional capacity. Dr. Gaurav Vaidya is an assistant professor at SP with prior roles with GUDA and GUDM under the government of Gujarat, covering various types of plans, DPRs for municipal water supply, and urban poor housing. His teaching and research focus on infrastructure and transport planning, urban sanitation, and environment management, with publication in IWA proceedings, Springer volumes on smart cities and Spandrel. It is my distinct honor to introduce the moderator for this session, Dr. Sameer Sharma, a distinguished scholar administrator with almost 40 years of experience in public and private governance. During his tenure as Additional Secretary at the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs between 2014 and 2017, Dr. Sharma was the Mission Director of the Smart Cities Mission, Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation, and the World Bank-supported Urban Capacity Building Program. He retired as the Chief Secretary to the Government of Andhra Pradesh in 2022. The session will be chaired by Sri Gopal Prasad, Economic Advisor, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs.
So with your permission, can we start? Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. A very good afternoon to all of you. Good afternoon to all the esteemed guests on the dais, including our Deputy Chief Minister from Government of Chhattisgarh. And ladies and gentlemen, this is one of a kind of a breakout session after the plenary session which has already happened. And there we had already heard our secretary speaking about that this kind of a national urban conclave he had not seen in his career time. So this is one of the biggest national urban conclave which is being held today. And with this, we have about 7 breakout sessions, but 4 of them are being held today. And the capacity building, the topic which we have been given, It's one of the most important thing which I found, especially after I came to Mahua last year. So, being a guy who is very new to urban sector, I try to understand many things, whatever I have been given as an assignment in the ministry. But this special assignment which I have been given to look after the capacity building team in Mahua and also to align with and to associate with all other stakeholders, including the other Center of Excellence, as well as the other training institutes and the apex body in terms of capacity building policy making, that is the CBC, then their Mission Karmyogi, Karmyogi Bharat, and the platform I got, and the other institutions as well. I have gathered some experience with me, which I am trying to consolidate and at the same time trying to also see how we can take it further. कुछ बातें मैं हिंदी में भी बोलूँगा, जिसमें कि सभी लोगों को ये बातें भी समझ में आए और बहुत सरल और सीधे साधे शब्दों में. तो जो सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट बात ये है कि जो कॉन्टेक्स्ट सेटिंग जो अभी हमें करने के लिए कहा गया, 5 मिनट उसके लिए वक्त है, उसमें से इम्पॉर्टेंट बात ये बताना चाहते हैं कि ये हमारा जो आज का सेशन है ये 2 भागों में हम लोगों ने बांटा है. एक सेशन 1 है जिसमें हम लोग अभी शुरुआत कर रहे हैं और इसके बाद एक सेशन 2 है जिसमें कि अनदर हमारे करीब 9 स्पीकर्स उसमें बात करेंगे. इसमें जो मूलभूत बातें हैं जो हमें बताया जाता है कि कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग के फोकस एरिया क्या होने चाहिए, तो हमने अगर आज अपने पहले प्लेनरी सेशन में हमने देखा तो हम विकसित भारत 2047 की परिकल्पना कर रहे हैं. और जैसा कि प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा है कि 2047 से पहले के लिए आप ये तय करिए कि आपको कितना काम और रह गया है, आपको कितना करना है, ना कि हमें ये देखना कि हमने पिछले 3 साल 4 साल में क्या कर लिया है. तो उस बाबत हमें ये देखना है कि हम जो आज कर रहे हैं क्या ये वाकई में हम 2047 की दिशा में हम जा रहे हैं या हम वहीं कहीं कहीं पीछे चूक रहे हैं या कहीं ना कहीं कुछ कमियां रह गई हैं. तो इसके जो फोकस एरिया है आज के वो ये है कि हाउ वी आर इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइजिंग द कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग इन द अर्बन गवर्नेंस, दैट इज वन. Second, how are we thinking in terms of establishing dedicated municipal cadre, which is the very very important thing. और इसके बाद हम कुछ चीज़ों पे और भी जो हमने फोकस करना है, जैसे कि हम कहते हैं कि डिजिटल लर्निंग जो आज के समय में सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट है और महत्वपूर्ण है क्योंकि वो हर एक आदमी को छूता है. सो हाउ आर वी गोइंग टू इंटीग्रेट द डिजिटल लर्निंग सिस्टम. और फोर्थ है कि ये जो गैप है, ये जो टेक्निकल और डोमेन स्किल का जो गैप है, हाउ आर वी गोइंग टू ब्रिज द टेक्निकल एंड द डोमेन स्किल गैप्स. फिफ्थ है कि हम ये कहते हैं कि प्रोमोटिंग कोलैबोरेटिव इम्प्लीमेंटेशन. वाकई में क्या हम कोलैबोरेट कर रहे हैं या नहीं कर रहे हैं, ये देखने की बात है. तो दिस इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि वी शुड बी इन अ कोलैबोरेटिव मोड इन टर्म्स ऑफ इंटीग्रेटिंग विथ ईच एंड अदर. वी कीप टॉकिंग अबाउट हब एंड स्पोक मॉडल ऑफ capacity building institutions, whether that is actually coming up or not. Then the last one is positioning every ULB as a capability hub. So are we seeing the present condition, especially the ULBs in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, whether they have that kind of a capability? Are they going to emerge as a kind of a capability hub or not? So these are the these are some of the observation through which we are going to start, and then I'm going to actually make a presentation on behalf of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, and then after the presentation gets over, I'll be handing over to our moderator, Dr. Samir Sharma sir, to take the session forward. Thank you. So here, the particular presentation is actually on 4 pillars. One is the evolution of the policy frameworks and the planning instruments. Second is the mission and scheme-oriented reforms for capacity building. Third is institutionalizing the architecture for capacity building. And fourth is towards a culture of continuous and digital learning. We have been trying to see how the evolution has taken place. What kind of policy frameworks and the planning instruments we have, and how we're in India, it starts with, say, for example, 10th five-year plan, where in the first time the urban capacity building was taken as a priority item. And then followed by the decentralization under the 74th Amendment Act 1992, the famous and the foremost. And then we started towards the second ARC report in 2007, where we have understood what are the role-based municipal training, how the institutionalized learning systems are going to take place, how are the local governance could be strengthened, and how their capacities should be enhanced. Later we moved to the 11th five-year plan period, that is 2007 to 12, where we have seen how the rapid urbanization is a focused area of the government. Then certain financial and institutional reforms which have taken place. And also the state level training institutions were given importance. Then there was a high-powered committee which was established under Dr. Ahluwalia, Ishwar Judge Ahluwalia. So 2011, they had given a report which actually focused on the capacity as a very service prerequisite, technical and financial expertise, and citizen-centric urban governance. Then we have seen how the further evolution took place. So from this 12 five-year plan period, wherein we had talked mostly of the inclusive and the sustainable growth, and how this capacity is going to become a governance core. Then we moved to Niti Aayog Action Agenda, where from 2017 to 2020, we have seen they have talked about strengthening the ULB capacities, then the digital and interagency integration, and the performance-based evaluation, which is also one of the most important part, because before that, it was not as if the performance-based evaluation used to take place. Kuldeep, please take it. Then we had seen Finance Commission, how the Finance Commission further have actually taken that capacity in terms of their recommendations. So from 2015 to 25, in 10 years period, we have seen how the performance-linked urban grants are actually being executed, how the fiscal and service efficiency is taking place, and the kind of institutional and financial accountability which is being set up, because they have given a kind of a conditional grants, both tied grant, untied grants. They have put certain conditions, and those conditions are reformatory in nature, because Finance Commission wants that, okay, until and unless those ULBs who would at least comply to some of these conditions, which is basically leading to certain reforms in their own ULBs as well as within their city, then the further grant cannot actually take place. And because of that, many reforms have already percolated down. Then now the overall shift has come from project to systems, continuous institutionalized capacity building. Now there are missions and schemes in Mahua, and these are oriented towards the reforms for the capacity building. So starting from the era of GenNURM in 2005, wherein the modernized urban governance, then Pearl, that is peer learning networks, and also the funds were linked to the performance. So it started and then started evolving towards the capacity building scheme for urban local bodies in 2009, then capacity building for urban development 2011, and then Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana PMAU 2015, wherein we have stated about the housing for all training modules. Angikar is a behavioral change drive which has taken place in that. Coming to the Swachh Bharat Mission 2014 onwards, it started going with along with also the Day NULM in 2013, and then Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation, Amrut 2015. When we see, they have focused on solid waste sanitation, they have trained and covered and also executed many workshops covering about so many number of ULBs, which you can see it in the PPT. They have also built professional SWM cadres. Under NULM, we have been seeing that urban poverty reduction mission is there, and then they have also the financial and enterprise training. They have also strengthened the self-help groups and the CLCs. Then went to the Amrut. There we have seen water, sewage, urban transport, which is the core area of Amrut. And we have seen that, as on 2024, near about 57,000 plus functionaries and elected representatives trained against a target of 45,000. So peer exchange and knowledge sharing is another area which actually is focused into under the Amrut. Now we are seeing the institutional architecture for capacity building as well. Now you see, there are many institutions, not everything which we have clubbed it over here, but नीति आयोग है, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ पर्सनल एंड ट्रेनिंग है, NIUA है, कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग कमीशन है, स्टेट अर्बन डेवलपमेंट एजेंसीज हैं, रीजनल सेंटर फॉर अर्बन एंड एनवायरमेंटल स्टडीज RCUS हैं, जिनके तहत में सारे राज्य बटे हुए हैं। दिल्ली के अंदर जो 1963 में इसकी स्थापना हुई थी, ये जो है 6 राज्य और 3 यूनियन टेरिटरी को कैटर करता है। मुंबई 1968 में हुआ था, जो अभी 6 राज्य और 3 यूनियन टेरिटरी को करता है। लखनऊ 1968 में हुआ था, जो 9 राज्य और 1 यूनियन टेरिटरी को कैटर करता है। और हैदराबाद 1970 में हुआ था, जो 7 राज्य और 2 यूनियन टेरिटरी को कैटर करता है। तो इनके RCUS के ट्रेनिंग मोस्टली जो है वो फिजिकल मोड में है, और हमारे करीब करीब सभी जितने भी मिशंस हैं, स्कीम्स हैं, उसके तहत में ये फिजिकल ट्रेनिंग अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज़ को देते हैं। इसके साथ साथ में एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं, जो कि राज्य सरकार के अंतर्गत आती है। दे हैव ऑल्सो बीन टेकन इनटू दिस पर्टिकुलर एक्सरसाइज, एंड दे आर ऑल्सो द स्पोक बेसिकली इन द स्टेट्स वेर दे आर गिविंग द ट्रेनिंग टू द ULBs एज वेल। इसके साथ साथ महुआ ने 4 सेंटर ऑफ एक्सलेंस हमारे हाल ही में हमने बनाया, उनको फंडिंग भी किया गया। तो उसमें CEPT यूनिवर्सिटी है, IIT खड़गपुर है, SPA न्यू दिल्ली है और NIT कैलिकट है। IIM इंदौर को भी उन्होंने 2023 में चुना गया था एज अ वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट एंड सैनिटेशन सर, जो कि सेंटर ऑफ एक्सेलेंस के रूप में जाना जाता है। एफर्ट्स महुआ की तरफ से जो लिए गए हैं मिशन कर्मयोगी में, वो राष्ट्रीय कर्मयोगी जनसेवा प्रोग्राम जो हमने 2025 में किया, सर्विस ओरिएंटेड वर्कफोर्स के डेवलपमेंट का इसमें सबसे बड़ा फोकस था। इसमें सेवा भाव, जो प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा कि वो मिशन कर्मयोगी के तहत वो सबसे ज़रूरी था कि हमारे हर कर्मचारी, हमारे हर अधिकारी के अंदर में वो बातें दिल में वैसी आनी चाहिए कि वो सेवा भाव से काम कर रहे हैं और उस ओत प्रोत से काम कर रहे हैं। इसके लिए सर हमने महुआ में 550 ऑफिशियल्स को ट्रेन किया, और आज वो 550 ऑफिशियल्स जो पूरे हर एक दिन का वर्कशॉप था, वो हमने अप्रैल और मई महीने में इसको समाप्त किया था। ये कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग कमीशन की तरफ से हमें मैंडेट दिया गया था, और इस ट्रेनिंग का लाभ ये हुआ सर कि आज महुआ में जितने भी अधिकारी और कर्मचारी काम कर रहे हैं, उनके अंदर में एक नया सेवा भाव जगह है। और थैंक्स टू हमारे सेक्रेटरी साहब का लीडरशिप, जिसके अंतर्गत हम इस तरह के काम को अंजाम दे पा रहे हैं। वो एक समय था जब लोग काम से उकता जाते थे या कहते थे हमारे पर काम ज़्यादा थोपा गया है। आज हम लोगों ने उनको ये बताया कि काम आपके 24 गुने 7 दिन रहेगा, और व्हाट्सएप पे काम चल रहा है, मोबाइल पे काम चल रहा है, लेकिन आप त्वरित रूप से दिल से मन से खुश होकर आप काम करिए, ताकि आप ये सोचिए कि आप अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को बेनिफिट कर रहे हैं, आप अपने देश की सेवा कर रहे हैं। कईयों ने ये भी क्वेश्चन पूछा सर, कहा कि हम तो पब्लिक सर्विस में डायरेक्ट तो हम कर नहीं रहे हैं, हम तो किसी को सीधा सेवा प्रदान नहीं कर रहे हैं, फिर हमारा इसमें क्या रोल है। हमने कहा आप इनडायरेक्टली कर रहे हैं, आप अपने देश की ही सेवा कर रहे हैं। अगर आप मंत्रालय में जो काम को निपुणता से और सेवा भाव से और पूरे कर्मठता से जो अगर आप कर रहे हैं, तो आप ये मान के चलिए कि वही मंत्रालय, वही भारत सरकार, वही सचिव महोदय, वही मंत्री महोदय के द्वारा जितने भी पॉलिसी, जितने भी डिसीजंस और जो लोकहित में लिए जाने वाले जो डिसीजंस हैं, वो जो लिए जा रहे हैं, जो सरकार का जो वेलफेयर फंक्शन है जो वो कर रहे हैं, वो आप उसमें आपकी भागीदारी है। इससे सारे लोग बहुत खुश हुए हैं, और उनको ये इस चीज़ की अनुभूति हुई कि हम जो हैं ये काम सिर्फ ऐसे नहीं कि दफ्तर में आके सुबह से शाम करके जाते हैं, बल्कि हम ये काम अगर कर रहे हैं तो इसके पीछे वाकई में ये मतलब ये बहुत बड़ा उद्देश्य है, और उससे उनको खुशी हुई। तो ये बहुत अच्छा प्रोग्राम था सर। एक्रेडिटेशंस हम लोगों ने किए हैं सर, करीब हमारे जो आज महुआ के अंडर 5 इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं जो एक्रेडिटेड हो चुके हैं सर, और ये RCUS हैं, इसमें CUS है, NCA है और दिल्ली मेट्रो रेल अकेडमी है। एनुअल कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग प्लान जो हमने बनाया सर, उसमें करीब 139 कॉम्पिटेंसीज हमने इसको चिन्हित किया है महुआ में, और हमने 62 डोमेन और 42 फंक्शनल एरिया और साथ साथ में 35 बिहेवियरल इशू जो कोर्सेज हैं उसका हम लोगों ने इसमें निर्माण किया है सर। दे हैव बीन आइडेंटिफाइड फॉर महुआ ऑफिशियल्स थ्रू द फ्रैकिंग एक्सरसाइज। ये एक्सरसाइज इसलिए भी बहुत ज़रूरी है कि आने वाले वर्षों में, यानी कि हम 2026-27 की बात कर रहे हैं, अभी 25-26 चल रहा है, तो उसमें हर एक महुआ के ऑफिशियल्स के लिए और साथ साथ बाकी जितने भी केंद्र सरकार के अधिकारी गण हैं, सबके लिए DOPT ने एक मतलब ऑर्डर्स दिया है कि ये सबके आपार के साथ इसको इंटीग्रेट किया जाए, जो कि बहुत बड़ा कदम है, जिसके तहत सबको 3 कोर्सेज कम से कम अपने 1 वर्ष के कार्यकाल में कंप्लीट करना है। आगे बढ़ते हैं सर। इसमें इंडिया सिटी एडवाइजरी प्रोग्राम्स हैं, जो एक हम लोगों ने 7 शहरों के लिए आईएफसी जो इंटरनेशनल फाइनेंशियल कॉरपोरेशन हैं, इनके साथ मिलकर एक काम किया है, जिसमें कि अभी ये 2024 में शुरू हुआ है, 2027 तक चलेगा। और इसमें कुछ की एरियाज हैं जो आइडेंटिफाइड किए गए हैं फॉर कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग, जैसे इंटीग्रेटिंग दिस सीआईपी एज अ वाइटल डैशबोर्ड, और दूसरा है आइडेंटिफिकेशन ऑफ मेजर्स फॉर इम्प्रूविंग ओन सोर्स रेवेन्यू, तीसरा है रिडक्शन ऑफ नॉन रेवेन्यू वाटर इंक्लूडिंग द गाइडेंस ऑन कॉन्ट्रैक्टिंग द एनआरडब्ल्यू रिडक्शन प्रोजेक्ट्स, एसेट मोनेटाइजेशन अपॉर्चुनिटीज एंड कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग फॉर यूएलबी ऑफिशियल्स। इसके जो फाइनल जब ये अभी इसमें से कुछ काम ऐसा है सर जो कि ऑलरेडी हो चुका है, जैसे अहमदाबाद और इंदौर के लिए और कैपिटल इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लान जो है ये बन चुका है उनका। बाकी जो शहर दिख रहे हैं सर, उसके लिए भी ये काम चल रहा है और ये 2027 में कंप्लीट होगा। इससे एक मालूम चलेगा कि अगर ये 7 शहरों में अगर हमने इस तरह के प्रोजेक्ट किए हैं, तो इससे ये जो उभर कर ये जो इसके जो मेन जो पॉइंट्स हैं सर, खास करके जो कैपिटल इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लान की बात हो रही है, वो कैसे कर रहे हैं। एनयूएलपी एक बहुत ही बड़ा एक कदम महुआ की तरफ से उठाया गया है थ्रू हमारा थिंक टैंक एनआईवे का इसमें बहुत बड़ा योगदान है कि नेशनल अर्बन लर्निंग प्लेटफॉर्म ये हम लोग एक बेसिकली बनाए हैं। और ये अभी इसको हम लोगों ने कोशिश किया है कि इसको भी हम अगर आईगॉट में एक माइक्रोसाइट के रूप में अगर इसको हम अगर उसको वहाँ पे लॉन्च कर पाएँ तो बहुत ही बेहतर होगा। ऑलरेडी ये लॉन्च हो चुका था 2020 में एज ए पायलट फेज़, और इसको हम फर्दर स्केल अप करना चाहते हैं अंडर द एनयूडीएम, जो कि महुआ का एक प्रोग्राम है, नेशनल अर्बन डिजिटल मिशन। इसमें ड्राइविंग कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग के ऊपर में बहुत ज़्यादा महत्व दिया गया है कि छोटे छोटे बाइट साइज के मॉड्यूल्स बनाए गए हैं। कोई 15 मिनट का है, कोई 20 मिनट का है, कोई आधे घंटे का है, कोई 1 घंटे का है, कि लोग उसको अपने सहूलियत से अपने समय में जिस तरह से भी चाहें उसके ऊपर में जानकारी भी प्राप्त कर सकते हैं, उसके ऊपर में कुछ सीख सकते हैं, और अगर फर्दर उनको उसमें इंटरेस्ट आएगा तो वो उसके ऊपर आईगॉट में दोबारा जा सकते हैं। आईगॉट के अंदर में भी सारी आपकी कोर्सेज हैं जिसको कि वो उसका लाभ उठा सकते हैं। एनवीएलपी के साथ एक हम लोगों ने ये भी सोचा कि हाउ इट इज़ गोइंग टू चेंज द पैराडाइम ऑफ अर्बन लर्निंग। तो अभी 16 राज्य में लगभग 750 यूएलबीज इसमें ऑन बोर्डेड हैं सर, और ये राज्यों के नाम दाएं तरफ दिख रहे हैं इसमें। और इसको हम लोग को आने वाले समय में इसको एक फॉर्मल रूप में इसको कैबिनेट नोट के माध्यम से इसको लेकर जाना है, और उसमें हम लोग अभी फ़िलहाल कार्यरत हैं। इसमें 118 कोर्सेज़ हैं, और करीब 114 कोर्सेज में से हम लोगों ने ये दिखाया है दाईं तरफ में कि 13 जो है इन्वायरमेंट एंड क्लाइमेट से है, 7 सॉलिड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट में है, 11 ट्रांसपोर्ट एंड मोबिलिटी पे है, 32 कोर्सेज वाटर सैनिटेशन पे है, 16 अर्बन प्लानिंग एंड हाउसिंग के ऊपर में है, 14 जो है गवर्नेंस एंड अर्बन मैनेजमेंट के ऊपर में है। इस तरह से मतलब कि अलग अलग डोमेन पे ये कोर्सेज उपलब्ध हैं आज के समय में भी। अब इसके बाद हम इसमें बहुत सारे एंटिटीज़ हैं जिनके साथ ये एनयूएलपी जुड़ा हुआ है, वो हम लोगों ने इस स्लाइड में दिखाने की कोशिश किया है। इसके बाद फीडबैक जो हमें रिसीव्ड हुए हैं, जो अभी हम लोगों ने जो कॉन्सेप्ट नोट बनाया कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग के ऊपर में, इस कॉन्सेप्ट नोट को नीति आयोग के माध्यम से हम लोगों ने इसको अपलोड किया, और सारे राज्यों से हम लोगों ने इस पे मांगा कि आपके विचार क्या हैं, आपकी क्या कमेंट हैं, आपकी क्या इसमें राय हैं, आप इसमें दीजिए। कुल मिला के हमें अभी 13 राज्यों से प्राप्त हुआ जानकारी, और उसमें हमने जो देखा है सो इसमें सबसे जो उभर कर जो आया है, इसको हम लोगों ने 4 बकेट में डालने की कोशिश किया कि क्या इश्यूज़ हैं। कैपेसिटी कांस्टेंट की बात हम लगातार करते रहते हैं और बोलते रहते हैं, लेकिन दरअसल हैं क्या वो। तो बहुत सारे लिटरेचर हैं जिसमें इन सब बातों का जिक्र किया गया है, बहुत सारे ऐसे पेपर्स हैं जिसमें ऑलरेडी लोगों ने पब्लिश किया हुआ है, बहुत सारे सेमिनार और सिंपोजियम में इस पर चर्चा हो चुका है। तो आज हमने इसको चिन्हित किया कि जो अभी हमें जो प्राप्त हुआ है जानकारी राज्यों से, उसको हम कैसे बताएं कि दरअसल प्रॉब्लम है कहाँ पे। तो वी कैन सी दैट देयर आर शॉर्टेज ऑफ स्किल्ड प्रोफेशनल्स अंडर द मैन पावर स्किल बकेट, देयर आर लिमिटेड रिसोर्सेज टू रिक्रूट द एक्सपर्टाइज, there is a delay in filling the sanctioned post, there is a limited technical expertise, so under these manpower and skill deficits। ये 4 के चारों जो हैं, ऐसा नहीं कि बाकी राज्यों में नहीं होंगे, वहाँ भी लगभग यही सारे करीब करीब इसी तरह के इश्यूज भी होंगे, इसी तरह के कंस्ट्रेंट्स होंगे। इंस्टीट्यूशनल एंड ऑपरेशनल बैरियर्स में हमने देखा फ्रीक्वेंट स्टाफ ट्रांसफर है, बहुत बड़ी समस्या है। एब्सेंस एंड अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड म्यूनिसिपल कार्डर्स है, जो कि अभी तक हो नहीं पाया है पूरी तरह से। ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स ओवरलुक द यूएलबी स्पेसिफिक टेक्निकल नीड्स, ये भी बड़ी बात है कि जो स्पेसिफिक टेक्निकल नीड्स है वो हम नहीं, हमारे ही ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स उसको नहीं एड्रेस कर पा रहे हैं। फिनेंशियल रिसोर्स कंस्ट्रेंट, जो कि मतलब प्रायः देखा जाता है कि ये इस कंस्ट्रेंट को हर एक जगह पे बताया जाता है। नीचे हम देखते हैं कि ट्रेनिंग एंड डेवलपमेंटल गैप्स भी हैं। क्या है इस तरह के गैप्स? तो इरेगुलर एंड अनसिस्टमेटिक ट्रेनिंग है, इनसफिशिएंट ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स टू एड्रेस द कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग नीड्स है, एंड इनएडिक्वेट टारगेटेड ट्रेनिंग फॉर न्यूली इलेक्टेड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात है। इसके अलावा हमने गवर्नेंस चैलेंजेस में चिन्हित किया तो देखा कि डिजिटल एडॉप्शन बैरियर्स है, लो सिटीजन एंगेजमेंट है, lack of learning cultural among ULB's functionaries persist. So when we are trying to see what are these constraints, we can see that these are the areas wherein we should now today discuss more and more. After this presentation gets over and the further how it goes further, I would request moderator to focus on this constraints basically, and in order to find out the workable solutions, what kind of solutions we can come up with, what are the various suggestions, and how are we going to actually take it forward. So that is the most important slide. Best practices we have seen in Odisha, Gujarat, Kerala, Mysore, Madhya Pradesh. We have actually tried to put some of the best practices, sir, in terms of the institutionalized municipal cadre, like as in Odisha. They have come up with their Odisha Municipal Services Act 2016. Gujarat, we can see peer learning through knowledge networks, wherein the Urban Management Center actually has come up with how the cities are enabled to have a city-to-city learning. Also, we are seeing in Kerala community-driven governance and training, wherein they have trained more than 10,000 officials. Then Mysuru city corporations, where the Mission Karmayogi model has been actually adopted, the first ULB to adopt annual capacity building plan. We are seeing Madhya Pradesh continuous digital learning under the Mission Karmayogi, wherein about between 10,000 to 50,000 officials, they have been onboarded on I Got Karmayogi. So this is also very important that, okay, more and more such best practices can be developed, can be cited as an examples, can be further, propagated across, so that the other all kinds of ULBs, they can, compete with each other, and they can also develop among themselves how they are going to become the future best practices to be given as an example. Way forward, there are important things, sir. Dedicated capacity building program for ULBs, wherein we are basically pointing out that, okay, learner centric and decentralized. It should be state driven approach, competency based framework, and there should be coverage and durations. So these are some of the things which we have thought, okay, how to take it forward. So these are the points which may also give some inputs to this particular discussion today, how we are going to take it forward. And then way forward, we are basically saying, okay, we should establish municipal cadres, which is very, very important. Dedicated capacity building cells should take place in every ULBs. It should be APAR linked, like as I have already given the examples of giving DOPT order, which is making compulsory for all the central government employees. Then annual capacity building plan should be in place for all the ULBs, and every state government who are basically monitoring the ULB's functions as well as their own in terms of the capacity building, they should have that. Behavioral shift in ULB function is very, very important. So it is something like that, how we have adopted that Rashtriya mission in terms of our training, how the ULBs can also do that. Then promote digital governance, partnership-driven implementation, and grant-linked reforms. Here in the grant-linked reforms, I have given one important emphasis on especially how the central and the state assistance can be linked to measurable capacity building milestones, such as cadre creation, e-learning adoption, and the annual capacity building plan implementation. So this is also important, sir. Until unless we come up with some kind of a conditionalities, तो वो बात नहीं आएगी या उस पर रिफॉर्म नहीं हो पाएगा जहां हम एक्चुअली देखना चाहते हैं. थैंक यू सो मच टू ऑल ऑफ यू. थैंक यू. ओवर टू यू सर.
सर आपकी अनुमति उस साल सर ये 5 हमारे एकेडमिक इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं, बड़े जाने पहचाने इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं कंट्री में. तो इन्होंने महुआ के थ्रू ये लोग ट्रेनिंग कर रहे हैं. तो इनसे मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा ये 4-5 चीज़ें पे हम लोग को बताएं, 5 मिनट बताएं, फिर जब वापस आएंगे इनके पास तो प्रश्न और उत्तर हो जाएगा सर. तो पहला जो चीज़ विच मैं इनसे जो कहूँगा कि कौन करेगा, ये अकेले वो कर नहीं पाएंगे अपने एरिया में. तो इनके साथ नीचे इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज, ITI कॉलेज सबको यूज़ करें. इतना हमारे हर एरिया में, जैसे सपोज़ कलकत्ता में कुछ है या खड़गपुर में है, तो आपके पूरे एरिया में इतने इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज को यूज़ करें, वरना कैसे कर पाएंगे. तो पहले इसके बारे में बताएं जिसको ये हब एंड स्पोक हमारे गोपाल जी बता रहे थे. सो दूसरा ये था कि ये क्या करेंगे, क्या सिखाएंगे. ऐसी चीज़ सिखानी चाहिए जो सिखाने के बाद पब्लिक कहे हमें फ़ायदा हुआ, प्रोजेक्ट जल्दी बन गया, प्रोजेक्ट का ऑपरेशन मेंटेनेंस बेहतर हो गया. तो उसका इफ़ेक्ट जो हमारे PM साहब हमेशा कहते हैं इम्पैक्ट देखो, आउटकम देखो, तो ये बताएं कि वो कैसे करेंगे और फिर ये एसेस कैसे करेंगे. एक कोई थर्ड पार्टी आके बताया कि आपने सिखाया अच्छा है, मैं सिखाने के बाद पब्लिक कह रही है फ़ायदा हुआ है, पॉलिटिकल पीपल कह रहे हैं हाँ बड़ा अच्छा काम हो रहा है, और जो काम कर रहा है वो भी कह रहा है हाँ मुझे काम करने में मज़ा आ रहा है, एम्पावर हो गया. तो ये फिर ये दूसरा ये हमें बताएं कि क्या करेंगे. फिर इसके बाद जो इनसे पूछेंगे सर, ये हम इनसे कि ये कैसे करेंगे. तो आजकल तो आप जानते हैं टेलीफोन तो बेस्ट है, सब टेलीफोन ही देखते रहते हैं. तो टेलीफोन में 7-7 मिनट के बाइट कैप्सूल बनाएं ताकि वो जहाँ भी हो 10 मिनट खाना खा रहा है देख ले. इस तरीके का एक नया अप्रोच आएगा साहब, जिसको कहते हैं ना नॉट बिजनेस यूजुअल, और बिल्कुल कंटेक्स्ट स्पेसिफिक हो, इंडिविजुअल स्पेसिफिक हो. जैसे हम दोनों साथ साथ हैं, आपकी ट्रेनिंग नीड फ़र्क है, मेरी ट्रेनिंग फ़र्क है, इसको एसेस करें और वैसे करें. फिर सर ये जो आजकल डिजिटलाइजेशन है, अभी बताया गोपाल जी ने, NULP है, IGOT है, कर्मयोगी, सब कैसे मिला के सब करेंगे. तो सर मैं इनसे रिक्वेस्ट यही करूँगा कि इन सब चीज़ों पे ये लोग बताएं और फिर 5 मिनट के बाद फिर हम लोग एक राउंड और करके फिर प्रश्न ले आएंगे. आपकी अनुमति चले. चलिए. तो आई रिक्वेस्ट सेप्ट the CEO of the SEPT of the Center of Excellence to come.
Good afternoon. Since I'm the fortunate first speaker from the COEs, I'd like to start this session with a wonderful quote by Sir Winston Churchill. So it says that, we shape our cities and thereafter they shape us, right? So, and it's a very, very strong message actually for all the urban sector professionals. It tells us how wisely and how responsibly we need to shape our cities. Then the question comes, who shape our cities? Obviously, there are multiple stakeholders, players, but you will agree with me that the urban sector professionals will continue to shape our cities, and therefore their capacity is of pivotal importance. And today we are here to discuss how and why we should do it and in which direction. So at SEPT University, the Center of Excellence is essentially housed as SEPT Urban Planning and Design Foundation. And within that, we have a dedicated unit called SEPT Professional Programs, through which we are delivering all our certificate programs, training programs, capacity building programs for the in-service professionals. Now, the second point here that when you say that urban sector professionals, I think it is important also to understand that it's not the only government professionals. It's also the private sector professionals and the academia. How we engage all three together. So I'll tell you how at SEPT University and through SEPT professional programs we are trying to engage with all these three very key agents of urban changes. To start with, when I saw the presentation by Mr. Prasad, it was evident that enough is done on the part of understanding the capacity need, training need assessment, competency mapping, and then the delivery part of it. But unfortunately, I believe that in India, we are still energy and resources to ensure that we have very quick research projects to understand the evidence-based knowledge that we can generate from the cities, right? And that knowledge can then be used in the capacity building of the professionals. Now, when I say research, I'm not really meaning 3-4 years long PhD research. These are very quick research, 3 months, 4 months, and that outcome can be immediately tested in a city. So that's how we are trying to bridge the knowledge gap with the cities. Now, as far as the training and capacity building is concerned, we have been engaged with multiple states. In last 2 years, sir, we have been engaged with more than 8 states, starting from Gujarat. We worked with Haryana, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Assam, Tripura, and many others. Now, whenever these states approaches us, what we do, we try to have series of discussions in consultation with the leadership team of that state and the cities. We try and understand what is the training that they really want. And then we design those training programs. These all training programs are customized, starting from 3 days exclusive training on local area plan to 14 days long urban planning and related aspects and training for Uttar Pradesh newly recruited planners that we did last week. So it's customized based on their requirement that we are doing. Second thing is that, the certificate programs, we are also now planning to offer a lot of certificate programs where we are planning to explore the online, offline, blended all modules. To start with, we have offered 2 programs with URTP along with other COEs. One was on municipal finance and another was on contract management. When I say private practitioners and academia, we are also very consciously engaging with them. We had a dedicated masterclass by Mr. Alain Berthaud for the professionals at Delhi, and more than 30 professionals from the private sector practitioners, they joined, and they wanted to understand what is happening in the urban sector. And that was a very good, successful kind of one-day masterclass, followed by a dedicated masterclass that we did with the academia. So we invited the scholars and the professors from the planning schools from across the country, because we believe these are the places where the next generation planners and urban professionals will be coming out. And believe me, it was not really a surprise to us, but it was heartening to see that they are ready to accept the fact that our traditional teaching in the planning schools need to change. We need to change our pedagogy, we need to change our evidence-based planning, and that's where I think that's wonderful that there's acceptance to that. And very quickly, our traditional teaching in planning schools are becoming obsolete. So we'll have to get out of that. Now, to reflect on again what Samir sir was saying, I think to do all these things, we cannot do all these things alone. So we are continuously trying to sign MOU, join hands with different departments. For example, we have signed MOU with SPIPA in Gujarat, BIPARD in Gaya in Bihar, TPVD Maharashtra, we have signed MOU, and through YASDA, we are trying to engage into training programs. ATI Nainital, just yesterday I had a discussion with them. We have signed MOU also with the knowledge hubs, so that we also bring knowledge from those institutions to deliver the best quality training. For example, Survey of India, Janagra, ICAL, and the last week I had a discussion with CDRI on resilience. So we are going to offer a program on flood management along with CDRI. So this is how we are trying to engage with the delivery partners as well as the knowledge partners. Before I finish, Srinandani, I know I have to finish it. 2 more initiatives that we have taken up. One is again very much aligned with what Samir sir was saying, that how do you disseminate knowledge? So we have started with something called CUPDF newsletter. Now it may sound like a newsletter, but it doesn't really carry news in that sense. The good part is that all these newsletters, the fortnightly newsletter, they carry a lot of small essays in urban sector. And you will find it's a very well-researched essays which an urban professional can read in a just 3 minutes read. And that's what is perhaps Samir sir is trying to hint on, and we'll have to work more on that part. I think with this, I'll pause right now and we will continue with other discussion and then we'll see. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you. I mean, he's told us what he's doing now. Once again, before I go to Anil Kumar ji, just recall what Gopal had said. What is the problem they have put into fairly good categories, I mean, representative categories. Then the way forward. So tell us, last 25 years we've been doing all this. I was also mission director of CBUD, sir. मैंने भी ये करा है बहुत. मगर पब्लिक जब कहती फर्क नहीं पड़ा. सैनिटरी इंस्पेक्टर, बिल्डिंग इंस्पेक्टर, कोई वर्किंग वैसी चल रही है. तो जो वे फॉरवर्ड गोपाल जी ने बताया था, लर्नर सेंट्रिक, डिसेंट्रलाइज जिसमें करें, कंटिन्यूस लर्निंग, कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड लर्निंग, हब एंड स्पोक, इसमें आप लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? भाई जब सरकार ने आपको कितना 200-250 करोड़ रुपए दिया है, तो ये सब नई चीज क्या कर रहे हैं जो बिजनेस यूजुअल नहीं है, इसमें आप सब बताएं तो फिर उस पर भी डिस्कशन है. प्लीज.
Thank you. Speaking about the hub and spoke model that we have practiced in the case of COUPD at NIT Calicut in the last 1 year, I'll speak with respect to three subheads, namely the training institutes with whom we have developed an alliance to offer programs, and we have KILA, BIPAD, State Institute of Urban Development in Mysore, or Tamil Nadu Institute of Urban Studies, TNIUS. These are all our partners, including RQS in Hyderabad. And we have offered programs which are of relevance to the context where we are offering them. And in a very similar way, we have offered hand-holding to institutions in the area in the hub and spoke model. And this includes institutions in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Kerala, basically at this point of time. And they were all quite enthusiastic. We often had found that as part of the need-based assessment, there were times when some of the outside institutions were our partners in offering programs which were need of the time, I would say. For example, digital twin concept is digital twins is something which a lot of municipalities and urban development professionals are involved in learning more about. We have already offered 2 programs under that head. Sameerji, that is an area where, and we are planning to offer probably a much more elaborate program to the municipal government of municipal government of Mysore, because they are interested in doubling up their property tax base by doing the digital twin, operationalizing the digital twin concept better. And in a similar way, we have engaged with the urban local bodies also. Very often when we engage with urban local bodies, we kind of ensure that whatever we try to preach is partly shown to them as implemented. And in this line, in the next 1 year, we have 2 major projects outlined. One is on smart parking and one is on crowd management. With the help of IoT, we are planning to implement it in a live site in Kozhikode, and whereby the concerned stakeholders will be able to take the lessons home on how do we actually use IoT to manage crowds, and also in devising better methods of smart parking. And these 2 projects are done with the help of the State Tourism Department as well as with the support of the local body. We have also, we have trained about 733 people as part of this project, which include government officials, planners, students and scholars at times, engineers and architects. And digital training, we are yet to tap its potential completely, but I think there is some amount of potential there, because very often we see that there are certain challenges also in offering training programs to urban local bodies or these cadres we talk about. And these challenges I list as one of the final items in my discussion. We have also identified training institutes with respect to their technical domains, so that as and when we see there is a need-based request for training by agencies whom to contact. For example, for us, Janagraha continues to be our major repository for municipal finance related inputs. And in a similar way, for local governance and decentralization, we depend on KILA. So we have few of our partners with whom we have already signed MOU, identified for domain-specific knowledge in training the professionals. Our focus is already on Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities being located in Kerala, because we don't have any very big cities in Kerala. And we are handholding quite a few cities in the state of Kerala and in the neighbor states of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, and also in the union territories of Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar. We are reaching out. We are in discussion with them to offer them programs. We see a few challenges in this area, which probably we will address to Mohua if they have a way to deal with them. Getting candidates for these training programs for a sufficient length of time is very difficult, because we always find them to be too busy with their routine activities, and sparing people is something, unless you map it to their career growth somehow, it may not take place in the expected way. And this is something which we would honestly request the ministry to look into. And sometimes, you know, the fact that we don't arrange accommodation, I think as and when we extend support for training programs, it is a program where we don't get anything more than 20 to 30% as ROR. But at the same time, very often they ask, can you not arrange as accommodation? And this becomes an impediment. But this can turn out to make the program too expensive at the other end. And for the urban managers program, which we are currently offering and will come to an end in November, we see that some of the time it takes for government officials to be spared for these kind of programs and permitted for these kind of programs, nearly a month or so, was not considered while we were conceiving the program. So very often the particular, the interest shown by people were relatively less because of this issue. Many were interested, but the framework within which they were part of didn't permit them to do this. And even this meager training fees that we ask them to pay, sometimes these urban local bodies are not willing to pay, especially when the state is cash strapped, when the local body is cash strapped. And the general order in case of some of the states like Kerala is that everybody is every time cash strapped, right? And I'm winding up. And sometimes, on the expert payment and those kind of things, or gathering expertise from expertise and experts and things like that, it would help us to deal with our own administration better if ministry comes up with some norms. In fact, this is a major point. If ministry instructs on some of the things as a write-up or as a proceeding on what to do with or how much to pay to the experts and things like that, that will help us in a big way. Otherwise, the institute constraints in this regard would apply, and the BOG, apply its acts on some very, sometimes it's a little unreasonable, given the chance of our holding these kind of mandates given by the ministry to be catered to. And finally, if I come to the next 1 year, we have some live projects lined up to be implemented. As I told you, one is the parking management, smart parking, and the digital twins part that we are seriously considering. On disaster recovery also we are planning. And both these programs, the crowd management and smart parking project, is going to help us with some evidence-based and practice-oriented training for the urban development professionals. So I think this is what is what is in a nutshell that we are doing, and what we would look at as an impediment to achieving what is expected out of the COE status given to us. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Anilji, thank you. Only thing, if this officers not being able to come for long periods is known, why don't you think of on the go training, sir? जैसे कि फिजिक्स वाला और ये अपने खान साहब करते हैं सर, टेलीफोन पे करिए, छोटे छोटे मॉड्यूल बनाइए, फीडबैक लीजिए और करिए, क्योंकि आपको नंबर्स इतने ज़्यादा करना है तो यू हैव टू, ये ट्रेडिशनल वे से अलग होना है, तो सोचिए इस पे जब आगे आएंगे नेक्स्ट टाइम बात. नाउ आई विल रिक्वेस्ट डॉक्टर भदूरी प्लीज.
Good afternoon to all. Namaskar. Uh, uh, all the COEs work under a mandate of the ministry. So I'm not repeating that what, of course, we have to work under. So some principles are there, some rules are laid down. So, but फिर भी थोड़ा बहुत changes तो आता ही है, क्योंकि हर center अपने अपने खुद का expertise लेके आते हैं, खुद का area, special domain में काम कर रहे हैं. तो हम लोग basically the northern part of the country काम कर रहे हैं, J&K, Himachal, Uttarakhand, and the northeast states, and also Karnataka, then this Puducherry, we are Sambalpur in Orissa we are doing. तो training जो होता है, तो training में it's not that मैं कुछ लोगों को train कर रहे हैं हम लोग, तो it's okay, that's one module of, or the one method of doing it. But हम जब master plan करते हैं लोगों के लिए, सेंटर्स के लिए, छोटे शहर के लिए, वो भी एक तरह की सीख मिलती है लोगों को. तो ये सारे ट्रेनिंग हम अगर स्ट्रेट जैकेट करेंगे कि हम कितने लोगों को पढ़ाएंगे, वो तो वन पार्ट ऑफ द पिक्चर. बट हम through our vision, through our expertise, through our core competencies, हम जब master plan बनाते, if we can link our master plan with what Gopalji was mentioning about the capital investment plan. So how do our master plans get linked up with? तो वो भी एक बहुत बड़ी सीख होती है for the stakeholders. Second is that जो हम लोगों का जो coordination problem हो रहा है, for example when we take the challenges, मैं तो mix up करके बोल रही हूँ, but I'm telling the essence that when we really look at तो basically the stakeholder coordination में problems है on the ground, implementation. हमें पता है projects करना है, vision लेनी है, sustainable projects, sustainability के sustainable cities बनाने हैं. तो वो projects जब हम करते हैं, हमारा plans बहुत अच्छे होते हैं, बट जब हम implement करने जाते हैं, देखते हैं वो time से implement नहीं होता, वो coordination नहीं है. तो हम जो सिखा रहे हैं लोगों को, वो जो सीख दे रहे हैं, वो सीख, is it only in the content or only also in the how to get things done on time? And in तो वो बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है, and through different ways we are handholding. I mean, of course, as I said, under the rules of the ministry, that we are handholding people in terms of master plans, in terms of projects, and in terms of also our main domains in training are water infrastructure, that is water, sewerage, drainage augmentation plan. Flooding हो रहा है, हर जगह flooding हो रहा है, तो drainage augmentation plan, how we can use the digital modeling, how we can do through 3D modeling and work out and put all these engineering and all these cross-cutting domains. तो एक domain को ना लेके, can we cross-cut the GI specialization with the drainage, how it will go? So cross-cut करके हम वो कर रहे हैं at SPA. And then also hill towns, as I said, हमारा special domain the northern part of the country है. तो hill towns का training हम लोग अभी बहुत सारे states के साथ बात हो गया. We are trying to work out, and in future we'll have a series of these hill towns, training in those hill towns for the hill towns officials, and then with their requirements. It's not that हम क्या चाहते हैं उनके लिए, वो क्या उनका क्या requirements हैं. So the need assessment from there. So that is why one has हमारा method जो है, that we discuss with them, find out their needs, we go to them first, do a recce, find out with them that what do they really require. उनका governance ज़्यादा चाहिए, उनका building bylaws, DCRs के ऊपर concentration ज़्यादा चाहिए, तो वो उस पे हम करके फिर content develop करके, and then only it will be useful. They can implement that. That's the purpose. कि हम implementation कैसे करेंगे. प्लान्स तो बन जाते हैं, वैसे core competencies everybody of us has. Traditional water systems, we are trying to do traditional water systems is one of the another domain. तो उस पे ऊपर हम कर रहे हैं. Unused spaces, public spaces in the cities, वो भी एक domain है जिस पे हम कर रहे हैं. So these are the certain areas and challenges. I don't want to repeat, but definitely लोग आने में इतना दिन के लिए suppose 3 days, 5 days, and I really agree with समीर जी कि आपने बोले कि 7-8 मिनट का MOOCs ने वही तो MOOCs का format वही है. MOOCs how they can reach so many people anytime, anywhere. तो वो एनी टाइम एनीवेयर वो कॉन्सेप्ट पे अगर हम चल सकते हैं तो आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट द मिनिस्ट्री दैट एक सॉर्ट ऑफ एक मटेरियल्स और एक मेथड्स पे अगर हम ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स ये जो हमारा ट्रेनिंग एंड कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग चल रही है ये जो मेथड्स पे इफ वी कैन हैव अ सॉर्ट ऑफ अ स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन कि कौन कौन से पॉइंट आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि एवरीथिंग कैन बी स्टैंडर्ड बट कम से कम मेथड्स जो हम बोल रहे तो वो अगर हम एक दिशा मिल जाती है तो हमारा एक गाइडलाइन बन जाती है एक रास्ता तो फिर देन वी कैन से ओके वी कैन डू पार्टली दिस हमारे जैसे MOOCs का 4 क्वाड्रेंट था तो दैट इज वन मेथड सो दैट वाज वन हाँ आई जस्ट वाइंड अप So then core cities, redevelopment of core cities. हमारा core cities बहुत core cities are ignored and over. So redevelopment of core cities is another domain जो हम कर रहे हैं. And then when we go to some other city and train them, क्योंकि उनके हिसाब से if we go to Kohima and talk about implementation there, तो वो कोहिमा स्पेसिफिक होनी चाहिए ना कि वो श्रीनगर स्पेसिफिक तो उसके लिए we have to have collaboration with the organizations there तो उसमें ये सारे में थोड़ा सा चैलेंज आ सकता है क्योंकि we have to also associate I mean of course we overcome those but still and then we have trained that's a capacity building we have done many not only from these states बाकी states से भी urban local bodies से भी about 20 urban local bodies से लोग आए हैं Jharkhand government has asked us for doing a training Karnataka has asked us तो वो सब हम in the future pipeline में है and वो process continues I mean it's not static हम लोग evolve करके और कौन सा domain है जिस पे हम कर सकते हैं and इसके अलावा भी urban local body के अलावा भी because stakeholders private organizations भी है NGOs भी है corporates भी है consultants हैं researchers हैं तो they all are part of the and they have also joined in the training and in future we are trying to get as many more of them and finally I'll just wind up by saying that Guru Nanak Dev University Amritsar is one of our spokes Jamia Millia Islamia based on their domain is one of our spokes CSIR Central Road Research Institute is one of our spokes Water Management and Plumbing Skill Council. So it's not that only educational institutions, we also have private organizations, we also have the CSIR, CRRI, which are the other research organizations who are part of our spokes. And we are, and जब हम pedagogy के बारे में बोल रहे हैं that कैसे इसको कैसे deliver करना है because many times people register that they don't come for the training. तो वो उसके लिए ना जो मिड लेवल ऑफिशियल्स हम देख रहे हैं वो थ्योरी नहीं पढ़ना चाहते हैं वो केस स्टडीज देखना चाहते हैं जो उनके एरिया में वो इम्प्लीमेंट हो सकते हैं तो वो केस स्टडी बेस्ड एक्सपीरियंशियल ग्रुप डिस्कशंस रोल प्लेइंग स्टेक होल्डर ओरिएंटेशन हम बोल रहे हैं स्टेक होल्डर इतना लेट इतना क्यों मतलब कोलैबोरेशन है बट इफ वी कैन डू सम रोल प्लेइंग आई मीन वी कैन हैव सम इंटरेस्टिंग फॉर्मेट्स जिस पे वो इंटरेस्ट मिल जाते हैं जो एंड इट इज यूजफुल फॉर द पीपल हु आर कमिंग फॉर द ट्रेनिंग तो एक स्टेक होल्डर कोलैबोरेशन कैसे होती हैं who are the stakeholders who are important तो ऐसे रोल प्लेइंग वगैरह कर सकते हैं केस स्टडीज फील्ड ये बहुत सारे ways of making the training and capacity building interesting for the people to first register and after registration attend the course and after attending the course use the training thank you so much
बहुत ही बढ़िया। समय की पाबंदी को देखते हुए दो और स्पीकर हैं तो उनको मौका दिया जाए जल्दी। और एक छोटी सी बात मैं कहना चाहता हूँ कि जैसे बीमार डॉक्टर के पास जाता था, बीमार है तो डॉक्टर के पास जाना पड़ता भी है, लेकिन मुझे अब ऐसा लग रहा है कि जैसे कि डॉक्टर को बीमार के पास आने की ज़रूरत है। तो कहीं ना कहीं अगर हम अगर खुद जाएं, आउटरीच हमारी ऐसी हो कि हम खुद जाएं सारे यूएलबीज को, और करीब करीब 5,000 यूएलबीज हैं हमारे देश में पूरा, और अगर हम उनको नहीं छूते हैं, हम अगर उनको नहीं जाते हैं, उनके पास नहीं पहुंचते हैं, तो शायद हम उनकी कैपेसिटी को पूरी तरह से अपलिफ्ट नहीं कर पाएंगे। थैंक यू।
गौरव जी प्लीज।
हेलो। मंच पे आसीन सभी महानुभावों को नमस्कार एंड गुड आफ्टरनून टू ऑल फेलो प्रोफेशनल्स। आई एम फ्रॉम सेंटर ऑफ अर्बन प्लानिंग फॉर कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग एसपीए भोपाल एंड फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वुड लाइक टू शेयर विथ यू, आप लोगों के साथ ये शेयर करना चाहता हूँ कि क्या हम लोगों ने थोड़ा बहुत किया है पिछले 1 साल में और अब किस तरीके से कर रहे हैं और आगे क्या करने वाले हैं। तो कुछ 12 रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट हम लोगों ने अभी तक उस पर काम किया है जिसमें वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग एलिमेंट है कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग का। विदाउट कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग एलिमेंट हम किसी भी तरीके का प्रोजेक्ट को हम कंसिडर नहीं करते हैं। साथ ही साथ उसमें से 5 प्रोजेक्ट हम ऑलरेडी कंप्लीट कर चुके हैं। करीबन 36 गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, यूएलबीज एंड डिफरेंट क्वासी गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, एनजीओज के साथ हम लोगों ने काम किया अभी तक। नियरली मोर देन 350 to 400 प्रोफेशनल्स को वी हैव ऑलरेडी trained. Around 10 MOUs we have signed with the different organizations, institutions, 15 collaborations हम लोगों ने establish किए हैं। और as means very rightly said by the all fellow institutions, कि सभी बता ही रहे हैं, वही more or less हम लोगों के भी experience है कि हम लोगों ने जहाँ जहाँ काम कर रहे हैं तो बहुत सारी चीज़ें more or less same है, वही हो रहा है, उसी तरीके के challenges हैं। सेक्टर्स, अर्बन सेक्टर के जितने भी अलग अलग डायमेंशन हो सकते हैं, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, मेरा तो एरिया ऑफ वर्क ही अर्बन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है। तो फ्रॉम लास्ट ऑलमोस्ट 20 ईयर्स आई एम वर्किंग इन द इंडस्ट्री। तो उस सब से बहुत सारे जो हमारे एक्सपीरियंसेस आ रहे हैं और किस तरीके से डिफरेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के साथ साथ लार्जली वी आर वर्किंग इन मध्य प्रदेश, बट अपार्ट फ्रॉम मध्य प्रदेश वी आर आल्सो वर्किंग विद द अदर स्टेट्स, जिसमें मणिपुर भी है, जिसमें उत्तराखंड है, अभी रिसेंटली हम लोगों ने जम्मू कश्मीर में कुछ काम शुरू किया, राजस्थान में कर रहे हैं, तो उससे कई जगह पर और हमारे धीरे धीरे कुछ काम स्टार्ट हो रहे हैं। एंड अगर देखा जाए तो गोपाल सर वेरी राइटली सेड एंड अदर समीर सर आल्सो सेड कि लोगों को रिटेन करना बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है। वंस वी आर ऑर्गेनाइजिंग अ ट्रेनिंग फॉर 5 days, 5 दिन का ट्रेनिंग जिसमें सबको बिठाना है, अलग अलग टेम्परामेंट, अलग अलग माइंड सेट के पीपल विद अलग अलग इंटेंशंस, इट इज़ अ रियली वेरी डिफिकल्ट टास्क। तो जब हम लोगों को इनिशियली ये रियलाइज़ हुआ तो हम लोगों ने फिर ये डिसाइड किया कि हम लोगों को एज पर नीड हम लोगों को अपने जो ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स है वो अलग अलग तरीके से डिज़ाइन करने पड़ेंगे। वी कैन नॉट वर्क विद द सिंगल ट्रेनिंग डिज़ाइन फॉर ईच एंड एवरी पर्टिकुलर टाइप ऑफ ट्रेनिंग। तो उसमें चाहे ऑफलाइन ट्रेनिंग हो, ऑनलाइन ट्रेनिंग हो, हाइब्रिड ट्रेनिंग हो, ब्लेंडेड मॉडल्स जिसे कह सकते हैं, जिसमें हमारा ऐसा भी था कि मॉर्निंग जो सेशन है उसमें हम लोग केस स्टडी डिस्कस करते थे एंड द पोस्ट लंच सेशन के अंदर वी यूज टू टेक पार्टिसिपेंट इन द रेस्पेक्टिव साइट्स, सम साइट्स वेयर एवर वी आर फेसिंग चैलेंजेस, ट्रबल, इश्यूज, और कहीं कुछ ऐसे साइट्स जहाँ पर वी हैव डन समथिंग गुड। तो कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ डिफरेंट सिनारियोज। फिर उसके बाद वेयर एवर पॉसिबल जो हैंड्स ऑन एक्सरसाइजेज में इन्वॉल्व करना। प्रोग्राम भी जब डिज़ाइन किए तो 5 day प्रोग्राम, 3 day प्रोग्राम, 1 day प्रोग्राम, वीकेंड प्रोग्राम, बेस्ड ऑन द अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ द प्रोफेशनल्स, क्योंकि हर बार पूछना पड़ता है। और सर ये मैं आपको बताना चाहूँगा, समीर सर एंड गोपाल सर एंड सभी को, कि हम लोगों ने मैक्सिमम जितने कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग प्रोग्राम किए हैं, हमने कोशिश हमेशा ये की है कि हम उसी शहर में जाएं जहाँ पर हम लोग काम करना चाह रहे हैं। तो हमने घूम घूम के अलग अलग शहरों में प्रोग्राम किए हैं ट्रेनिंग एंड कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग के। और उसमें बिहेवियर और इंटेंशन का बहुत बड़ा एक एस्पेक्ट हमारे पास जो आता है बार बार, कि हाउ टू कन्विंस पीपल। मुझे याद है बहुत वे बैक इन 2009 आई स्टार्टेड माय फर्स्ट असाइनमेंट एज अ कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग प्रोग्राम इन महसाणा, गुजरात। तो वहाँ पर मुझे सबसे पहले क्वेश्चन, जब मैं बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस एंड कंजर्वेशन अप्रोच के ऊपर बात कर रहा था, तो मुझे बोला जाता है कि आपका तो उम्र भी इतना नहीं है जितना हमारा एक्सपीरियंस है, तो आप हमारी बात सुनिए। तो तब से लेकर अब तक ये समझ में आया कि पहले उनकी बात सुन लो, उसके बाद अपनी बात करो, क्योंकि जब भी हम अपनी बात पहले करते हैं तो वो कनेक्ट ही नहीं बैठता। तो बेटर ये होगा कि सबसे पहले जब वंस हम कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग प्रोग्राम में जा रहे हैं तो शुरुआत करें कि उनकी बात सुनने से शुरू करें, वो पहले बोलें और उनके बीच में धीरे धीरे हम लोग एंटर करना शुरू करें, रेदर देन हम अपना शुरू करें और फिर उनको उनसे रिस्पॉन्स की उम्मीद करें। तो ये जो अप्रोच है काफ़ी हद तक हम लोगों को हेल्प कर रहा है सर। और उसमें ये भी है कि हाउ टू एक्सेप्ट, और अब मीन्स सिर्फ दे आर नॉट लिसनर्स और वो सुनना चाहते भी नहीं है। जो अलग अलग कैडर के लोग आ रहे हैं, इवन हम ऑल्सो स्टार्टेड कैडर बेस्ड ट्रेनिंग, कि सैनिटरी एक्सपेक्टर को अगर आप वही बताओगे जो एक हेल्थ ऑफिसर को बता रहे हो तो वो नहीं चलेगा। जिसको जितना, जैसे सर बोल रहे हैं कि जैसी बीमारी वैसी दवाई, ठीक है, बेस्ड ऑन द डिसीज मेडिसिन भी उसी तरीके का होना चाहिए। तो जैसा जैसा आपका रिक्वायरमेंट है, अलग अलग कैडर है, तो कैडर बेस्ड ट्रेनिंग एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है सर। और उसमें केस स्टडीज का बहुत बड़ा रोल होता है। और कैसे बेसिक्स से हम शुरू करें, फिर धीरे धीरे टेक्निकल एडवांसमेंट की तरफ जाएं, कि जहां पर बिल्कुल इनिशियल, जब वॉट एवर पीपल एक्चुअली नोज, जो जिस भी टारगेट ग्रुप को हम ट्रेनिंग दे रहे हैं वो जो जानता है पहले वही चर्चा से शुरू करते हैं हम लोग सर। फिर जब वो अपना एक्सप्रेस करने के बाद बोलते हैं, जब वो जो चीज़ नहीं जानते फिर हम धीरे धीरे उनको वहां पर ले जाने की कोशिश करते हैं। तो यस, साथ ही साथ जो जैसे डिसीजन मेकर्स हैं तो उनको किस तरीके से इन्वॉल्व करें, बाकी जो ऑफिसर्स हैं इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में उनको कैसे इन्वॉल्व करें। Now with respect to our work in the successive year, we have already started work and did work with the tier 2 cities. Now we are going to focus on the tier 3 small and medium town. बहुत ज़्यादा उस पर काम करने के इच्छुक हैं। डिजिटल मॉड्यूल के ऊपर वी आर ऑलरेडी स्टार्टेड वर्किंग, तो उसमें कुछ कुछ काम हो रहा है जिसमें बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस और कंप्लीटेड प्रोजेक्ट को कैसे डॉक्यूमेंट करके लोगों तक शेयर करें। और जितना हो सके, जितना मैक्सिमम we are trying to involve people in the various different small assignment. तो ये सारे efforts we are putting in, and hopefully with guidance of all and ministry we will able to do good. Thank you sir.
Thank you Gaurav. I'll request Subra ji, please.
थैंक यू वेरी मच, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जैसे कि गोपाल साहब ने अभी कहा कि डॉक्टर को मरीज के पास आना पड़ेगा शायद, मैं ये बोलना चाहता हूँ कि मैंने बचपन में सुना था कि किसी ने पूछा, बच्चों स्कूल जा रहे हो? तो बच्चे बोलते हैं नहीं, भेजे जा रहे हैं। तो कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग भी ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि मुझे कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग कराया जा रहा है। दे शुड बी स्पॉन्टेनियस। नाउ लेट मी कम टू द ब्रास टैक्स, बिकॉज डॉक्टर समीर हैज put the ball rolling and given us specific questions. On the hub and spoke model at IIT Kharagpur, what we have done is we've got 3 types of hub and spoke. So the first type is departmental collaboration, in which we have tied up with NIT Rourkela, IIST Shibpur, meaning in the eastern zone, jitne sare bhi hai, BIT Meshra, VNIT Nagpur, NIT Patna, in sab ke saath hum jude hain. इसके साथ we have also got tied up with MIT of USA. So that's the first type. The second type is joint workshop and capacity building. ये second type में हम क्या कर रहे हैं? We are doing joint workshop. We have done a couple of those joint workshops with IIT BHU, with Voxen. We've done something on Varanasi, which was very interesting. And we have a type 3. That type 3 is kind of expert advisors to our Center of Excellence, in which we have got expertise from, let's say, from NIT Silchar, from IIT Jodhpur. So they are also rendering their expertise to us, right? The next question is delivering both in-person and digital training. Well, we have done that, and हम ये जारी रख रहे हैं। हम already जो training दे चुके हैं, जिसमें कि हमारा 358 हो चुका है training। इसमें हम लोग मिक्स्ड मोड पे किए हैं, एंड वी हैव हैड फ्रॉम अर्बन प्लानर्स टू लोकल क्राफ्ट्समैन टू वेरीज, मतलब बहुत तरह के लोगों को हम लोग कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग के औसत में लाए हैं। नेक्स्ट, क्या ये हम लोग व्हाट वी ऑफर्ड, ये जो हम कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग कर रहे थे उसमें हम लोग क्या ऑफर किए थे जो कि ट्रेनिंग प्रोफेशनल्स को दिया गया था? We gave them about 40 hours of classroom training. We gave them 20 hours of hands-on GIS and drone, because that was the need of the hour. वो चाहते थे. We also gave them site visit, because they are also very happy जब हम उनको site पे ले जाके दिखाते हैं कुछ good practices. So that was 3 kind of things that we did. What we observed, जो हम ऑब्जर्व किए हैं, विच इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस, हमारे पास जो ट्रेनिंग के लिए आए थे वो असिस्टेंट टाउन प्लानर कार्डर के थे, लेकिन वो सब प्लानर नहीं थे. उनमें से कुछ प्लानर्स थे अर्बन प्लानर्स, बी प्लान, एम प्लान, कुछ थे मास्टर्स इन जियो इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स एंड रिमोट सेंसिंग. तो हमें लगता है कि ये जो टेलर मेड कोर्स, इट कैन नॉट वर्क समटाइम्स, बिकॉज जिनका एक पार्ट स्ट्रांग है, पार्ट ए स्ट्रांग है, पार्ट बी दे मे नॉट बी lacking in certain basics. So we tried to orient our course in a way that it is most interesting to the entire audience. But this is a fact that we learned. What we also observed is वो हमारे बहुत सारे केस स्टडीज देख के बहुत खुश हुए थे, बट वो कह रहे थे कि इसको चैलेंज होगा टू इम्प्लीमेंट ऑन ग्राउंड. सो वी विल फाइन ट्यून कि वो इम्प्लीमेंटेबल कैसे हो सकता है. ओके, व्हाट एक्स्ट्रा कैन वी, इस ये कोर्स से हम देखे थे कि देर आर सर्टन एरियाज जिसमें उनका बहुत हंगर है, दे वांट टू लर्न मोर अबाउट इट. सो जब हम लोग ये अर्बन रेनेसा टेक प्रोग्राम चालू किए, उसमें खास करके हम लोग जो किए थे कि 3 एरियाज, प्लानिंग, लेजिस्लेशन विथ फोकस ऑन मास्टर प्लानिंग. संयुक्ता वाज आल्सो टॉकिंग अबाउट मास्टर प्लानिंग. ये इनका जरूरी है. दे वांटेड टू नो एंड वी stressed upon that. We gave planning legislation with a focus on master planning. This was one. The second, everybody I would say would agree, GIS and digital planning tools. ये उनका इसमें था. कुछ लोग ये कह रहे थे कि हम तो बाबू हैं, हम तो चलाएंगे नहीं ड्रोन, हम सीख के क्या करेंगे. बट इट्स ओके, इट्स स्टिल ओके कि ये कैसे उड़ता है ये तो देख ले. And the third area in which they wanted is development management in urban planning. तो इन 3 एरिया पे हम खास करके ये रेनेसा प्रोग्राम में काफ़ी जोर दिए थे. नेक्स्ट, समीर जी हैड आस्क्ड अबाउट मैपिंग ऑफ इंस्टीट्यूशंस विद रिगार्ड टू टेक्निकल डोमेन्स. हमारा 3 तरह का है. एक है इम्प्लीमेंटिंग पार्टनर्स, क्योंकि वी डोंट वांट टू गिव एकेडमिक रिसर्च काइंड ऑफ थिंग, वी वांट पार्टनर्स हु विल इम्प्लीमेंट देम. तो इनमें से हम ONGC के साथ काम कर रहे हैं और श्यामा प्रसाद मुखर्जी कैलकाटा पोर्ट ट्रस्ट के साथ काम कर रहे हैं, जो इम्प्लीमेंट कर रहे हैं हमारे. और ऑफ कोर्स वी आर आल्सो वर्किंग विद अदर प्लेसेस. अर्बन रिसर्च पार्टनर्स हमारे जो है सेकंड डोमेन, उसमें NIUA, BMTPC एटसेट्रा आ जाते हैं, यूनेस्को आ जाते हैं. और कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग पार्टनर्स जो है उनमें हमारे जैसा नेताजी सुभाष, ATI, वी हैव गॉट MOU डन विद देम. तो उनके लोग भी हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं. एंड so these three are the type of our partners. Okay, that's the most important part. 1 मिनट में मुझे बोलना है कि हम क्या करना चाहते हैं. And what we are learning here is हम एक 1-day workshop किए थे on green buildings. उसमें हम लोग क्या किए थे, other than professionals we have involved school children. और school children के लिए हम लोग एक board based learning activity किए थे. They spontaneously connected very well with us. I think we can make several such innovative, programs. Like you are saying, हम YouTube देखते रहते हैं, YouTube से सीखते रहते हैं. Nobody is forcing us, but we do it on our own. ये board games, ये short, very short YouTube kind of things, ये हम future में develop करने वाले हैं. Because we have other platforms like NULP, etc. वो तो है, उसमें तो हम लोग कर ही रहे हैं. But other than that, these interesting things we want to do, which will be very specific कुछ question, उसके कुछ answers, Q&A type, multiple type. And besides that, we are also giving, self-paced mode of learning. वो तो एक है ही, हम कर रहे हैं बहुत दिन से. And yeah, major challenges, quickly in half a minute I will say. I will agree that हमारे जो मेजर challenges उभर के आए थे उसमें lack of awareness among ULBs था एक. This has to be widely publicized. Second, lack of financial support भी था. कुछ लोग आना चाहते थे लेकिन lack of financial support के वजह से नहीं आ पा रहे थे. Third, getting appropriate leave by ULBs, ये एक challenge था. And the fourth was lack of fund with ULBs to implement on ground. वो कह रहे हैं कि हम सीख तो गए लेकिन हमारे पास शायद पैसा नहीं है इसको इम्प्लीमेंट करने का. तो ये 4 चैलेंजेस, मेजर चैलेंजेस के तौर पे मैं रखना चाहता हूँ. आई थिंक इन द नेक्स्ट ईयर वी विल बी बेटर गियर्ड अप. हम इससे सीखे हैं जो कुछ वो हम इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे और इसको और इंटरेस्टिंग कर पाएंगे. थैंक यू वेरी मच. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
गोपाल जी, अब लास्ट में सर से कर दें या आप क्या चाहते हैं नेक्स्ट इसके बाद?
मेरा
उसके
निवेदन
बाद-
रहेगा
हाँ।
कि चूंकि सर आपका इस पे कमेंट हो जाए
हाँ,
पहले
हाँ।
जो इन्होंने कहा है, और
अच्छा।
फिर उसके बाद सर से आग्रह रहेगा कि
ठीक है।
छत्तीसगढ़ राज्य के जो अनुभव सर के अपने हैं और जो उनके यहाँ इश्यूज हैं और जो कुछ वो अभी फ़िलहाल आगे जो करने का सोच रहे हैं वो हमें थोड़ा सा उसके बारे में बताएं, तो हमें भी एक उससे मार्गदर्शन मिलेगा कि हम भी इसको उस लेवल पे ले जाना चाहते हैं। तो उसके अनुसार सर आप अगर
मेरे कमेंट्स वही रहेंगे जो गोपाल जी की एक स्लाइड थी जिन्होंने दिखाई थी प्रॉब्लम्स क्या हैं, इश्यूज क्या निकली है, और जो इनकी लास्ट 2-3 स्लाइड थी वे फॉरवर्ड की। तो वे फॉरवर्ड की स्लाइड में जो गोपाल जी ने कहा था वही कि ये लर्नर सेंट्रिक होना चाहिए। जैसे कह रहे थे ना, आपको यूएलबी जाकर वहाँ पता करना क्या चाहिए। अब एंटोमोलॉजिस्ट को चाहिए कि भाई मैं मच्छर कैसे मारूं, पैदा होते समय उसको पानी में कैसे मैं सर्वे करके मार दूं, मच्छर मर जाए तो कैसे मारूं, ये उनको चाहिए। क्योंकि ये इसलिए चाहिए, जितनी आप कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग कर रहे हैं इसका कहीं असर होना चाहिए पब्लिक पे या उसकी एफिशिएंसी पे। पब्लिक को पता चलना है कि अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं। तो पहला तो ये मैं, दूसरा डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड, इतने आईटीआई हैं, इतने इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज हैं, सिविल इंजीनियरिंग में कैसे पॉट होल भरते हैं, पॉट होल भरने के बाद पानी भरता है तो उसमें क्या करा जाए, ये सब चीज़ें उन सबको आपको यूज़ करना है। हब एंड स्पोक में ये जो गोपाल जी, फिर कंटिन्यूस लर्निंग। अब ये क्लासरूम लर्निंग को बुला के 7 दिन, मैं भी म्यूनिसिपल कमिश्नर था, वो 4 दिन की मैं येस कह रहा था, लास्ट मोमेंट नो कह देते थे। वो हो ही नहीं सकता म्यूनिसिपल कमिश्नर की, सैनिटरी इंस्पेक्टर और बिल्डिंग इंस्पेक्टर छोड़ दे, वो वैसे ही स्टाफ कम है उसके पास, उसको करना पड़ेगा काम, तो होना ही नहीं है। तो आपका प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट इस तरह डिफाइन करें कि ये है कि ये लोग नहीं आ सकते 2 से 3 दिन 4 दिन फिजिकल ट्रेनिंग में, अब मुझे ट्रेन करना है। अब आप इसका सोल्यूशन निकालें। तो उसके लिए जो गोपाल जी ने कहा था, एनी टाइम एनीवेयर ट्रेनिंग, बाइट साइज। 7 मिनट इसलिए कह रहे थे कि 7 मिनट अटेंशन रहता है, उसके आगे से अटेंशन नहीं रहता। हम लोग बदलते रहते हैं ना सर, हर 3-4 मिनट पे कुछ ना कुछ वो बदल देगा, फिर उसका मजा खत्म हो जाएगा, इसलिए 7 मिनट कहा था। फिर उसकी जो नीड है, डिमांड है, उसी पे करें। ये नहीं कि जो आपको पता है ना पढ़ाएं, जैसे कह रहे थे, जो चाहता है उस, और पढ़ने के बाद भी उसको फॉलो अप करें, मैंने जो पढ़ाया इस्तेमाल करा कि नहीं करा, नहीं करा तो अपना मॉडिफाई करें क्या पढ़ा रहे हैं। फिर कॉम्पिटेंसी, कॉम्पिटेंसी कहाँ से आती है, उससे पूछें, उसके सुपरवाइजर से पूछें, मिशन डायरेक्टर से पूछें, पॉलिटिकल में एमएलए से पूछें, कॉर्पोरेटर से पूछें, भाई ये काम कर रहा है, काम में क्या कमी है, तो बताएगा ये नहीं कर पाता, वो सिखाना है। उसमें बड़ा आएगा रिलेशनशिप, कैसे काम करना है पॉलिटिकल के साथ, ये सब चीज़ सिखानी है उनको। फिर हब एंड स्पोक, हब एंड स्पोक बता दिया, आईटीआई, छोटे छोटे इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज, इन सबको स्पोक में लाना है। तो इस तरीके की चीज़ें मैं वही कहूँगा, मेरे क्लोजिंग कमेंट्स रहेंगे जो गोपाल जी का लास्ट 2-3 स्लाइड था उसी पे। सर मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूँगा कि आप अपने अनुभव से इतना सुना आपने, आप जो बताएंगे शायद हम लोग किसी को नहीं पता होगा, प्लीज़।
नेशनल अर्बन कॉन्क्लेव 2025 के इस ब्रेकआउट सेशन कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग फॉर अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज, ए रोड मैप टू विकसित भारत 2047, गोपाल प्रसाद जी ने, डॉक्टर समीर शर्मा जी ने और सभी हमारे पैनलिस्ट ने बहुत विस्तार से बातें रखी है। और गोपाल प्रसाद जी ने तो सारे जो बातें हैं वो रखी है, पर धरातल की क्या स्थिति है, हम कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग फॉर अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज इस पे चर्चा कर रहे हैं। तो व्हाट इज द प्रेजेंट कैपेसिटी ऑफ अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज? सबसे पहले तो ये एनालाइज होना चाहिए कि कैपेसिटी आज क्या है। और अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज यानी मिनी गवर्नमेंट, मल्टीपल फंक्शन करने पड़ते हैं, मल्टीपल प्रकार की सर्विसें उन्हें प्रोवाइड करनी पड़ती है। उन्हें निर्माण भी करना है, वाटर सप्लाई भी करना है, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी सप्लाई भी करना है, हेल्थ का भी काम करना है, सैनिटाइजेशन का भी काम करना है, रेवेन्यू कलेक्शन का भी काम करना है। इतने प्रकार के मल्टीपल काम करने हैं और उसके लिए उस अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज की कैपेसिटी क्या है। मैं अपने छत्तीसगढ़ में देखता हूं कि जो हमारे लोकल अर्बन बॉडीज के सेटअप है वो आदम जमाने के बने हुए हैं। आज की जो आवश्यकता है, आज जो किन किन प्रकार के सर्विसों की आवश्यकता है, उसके हिसाब से हमारे सेटअप का निर्माण हो। और आज जिस प्रकार से तेज गति से आबादी अर्बनाइजेशन बढ़ रहा है, उसको ध्यान में रखकर हमारा सेटअप बने, उतने हमारे पास ऑफिसर हो। सामान्यतः ज्यादातर अर्बन बॉडीज में जो सिविल इंजीनियर है वही इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का भी काम कर रहा है, वही वाटर सप्लाई का भी काम कर रहा है। तो एक बार अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज की कैपेसिटी के लिए उनका सेटअप प्रॉपर हो, मल्टीपल सर्विसेज जो वो करते हैं उनके हिसाब से उनको टेक्निकल हैंड्स चाहिए। और दूसरा जो मुझे लगता है कि आज मेरे शहर में क्या क्या सुविधाएं हैं लोकल अर्बन बॉडीज में, और 2047 में क्या क्या होने चाहिए, ये जब तक विजन नहीं होगा तब तक हमें क्या करना है ये समझ में नहीं आएगा। जब तक आपका ये रोड मैप ना बने कि 2047 में मेरे शहर की आबादी इतनी होगी और उस समय मुझे किन किन चीजों की आवश्यकता होगी, उसको ध्यान में रखकर जब हम प्लानिंग करके काम करेंगे तो हम ठीक प्रकार से अपने यूएलबीज को चला पाएंगे। आज लोकल अर्बन बॉडीज के पास कोई विजन बना के उनको दे, एक एक यूएलबीज की एक रोड मैप बननी चाहिए कि 2047 में उस यूएलबी को क्या क्या होने चाहिए, आज क्या है और उस एम तक कैसे पहुंचेंगे, उस गोल को कैसे अचीव करेंगे। और तब उसके लिए फिर जो एफर्ट्स होंगे वो करते बनेगा। जो मल्टीपल सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करनी पड़ती है लोकल अर्बन बॉडीज को, समय समय पर एम्प्लॉइज की ट्रेनिंग हो, हर एक राज्य का अपना एक ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूट हो और रेगुलर ट्रेनिंग हो। जो हमारे एक्सीलेंस सेंटर्स हैं वो कर रहे हैं, जैसा डॉक्टर समीर शर्मा ने बताया वैसा उस तरह के ट्रेनिंग के की हम प्लानिंग कर सकते हैं। और कैसे हम अपनी इनकम बढ़ाएं, रोना सब जगह यही है। हमारे छत्तीसगढ़ में मैं आपको बताऊं कि हम लोकल बॉडीज के इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल भी भर रहे हैं, सैलरीज भी देनी पड़ती है और डेवलपमेंट के लिए राशि भी देना है, स्कीम के लिए भी राशि देना है। अब लोकल सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट का कंसेप्ट है पर अपनी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल ना दे पाए, अपने एम्प्लॉइज को सैलरी ना दे पाए, कैसे वो यूएलबी सक्षम होगी, कैसे वो मुकाबला कर पाएगी 2047 की चुनौतियों का। ये बड़े गंभीर विषय है और इस दिशा में हमारे जो म्युनिसिपल के कमिश्नर्स हैं, सीएमओज हैं, उनकी भी कैपेसिटी बने, एक विजन बने कि वास्तव में आज दुनिया में किस प्रकार से इनोवेशन हो रहे हैं, मेरे शहर की आवश्यकता क्या होगी, नीड क्या है। बड़े ऑडिटोरियम बन गए, बड़े खेल के मैदान बन गए, पता चला गर्मी में पेयजल की समस्या हो रही है। तो एक रोड मैप हर एक यूएलबी का बने, उसके हिसाब से उनको टेक्निकल असिस्टेंस मिले, उनको रेगुलर ट्रेनिंग मिले, और आने वाले समय की आवश्यकताओं को ध्यान में रखकर जो जो करने हैं उन सब का एक खाका तैयार करके जब हम विजन रखेंगे, उसको लेकर काम करेंगे, तो कठिन नहीं है, थोड़ी चुनौतियां हैं, पर वो चुनौतियों को हम पार कर सकते हैं। प्रधानमंत्री माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने जो रास्ते हमको दिखाए, देश में बड़ा परिवर्तन आया है, देश के लोगों में सोच में बड़ा परिवर्तन आया है। उसे और ठीक प्रकार से एक एक यूएलबी को सोचकर प्लानिंग करके काम करेंगे तो निश्चित रूप से प्रधानमंत्री माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी के इच्छा और आकांक्षाओं के अनुरूप हम अपने यूएलबीज को विकसित भारत के निर्माण के अनुरूप खड़ा कर पाएंगे, ऐसा मेरा मानना है। सभी विशेषज्ञों के विचार हम सबने सुने हैं, मुझे भी बहुत सारा अनुभव हुआ है आज के इस ब्रेकआउट सेशन में, पर पिछले लगभग 2 साल से अर्बन मिनिस्टर होने के नाते जो अनुभव आया वो मैंने आपसे साझा किया है। तो आप सब इतनी बड़ी संख्या में इस नेशनल अर्बन कॉन्क्लेव में आए हैं, आप सभी का हार्दिक अभिनंदन, स्वागत, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर आपका। बहुत सारे पॉइंट्स हम लोगों ने नोट किए हैं आप जो कह रहे हैं, और मेरा अपना मानना है कि जैसे आपने कहा कि अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज़ के हर एक के लगभग सबके बड़े स्पेसिफिक नीड्स भी हैं। हम बहुत जनरलाइज कर लेते हैं कई मरतबा कई चीज़ों पे, लेकिन उनके अपने स्पेसिफिक नीड्स भी हैं। फंक्शनरीज जो भी हैं वो काफ़ी ऑलरेडी ओवरबर्डनड हैं, और वैकेंसीज़ जो है लगभग 40-50% का वैकेंसीज़ है लगभग हर एक यूएलबीज़ में। जैसा कि लास्ट के सीएजी के परफॉर्मेंस रिपोर्ट, परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल रिपोर्ट पे हमने देखा है। एक बात बहुत ज़रूरी ये भी है कि उनको खुद ही तय करना है, क्योंकि देखिए सर, अर्बन डेवलपमेंट स्टेट सब्जेक्ट है और उनको खुद तय करना है कि हमें अगर आगे जाना है या विकसित भारत के ये जो अगर मान लीजिए मापदंड हैं या जो गोल्स हैं, गोल पोस्ट हैं, अगर हमको आगे जाना है तो हमें खुद अपने आप को किस तरह से तैयार करना होगा। राज्य सरकार को भी उतना ही, जैसे कि डिवोल्यूशन ऑफ फंड्स के ऊपर है तो उनको, एंड डिवोल्यूशन ऑफ फंक्शंस के ऊपर है तो वो उनको नीचे डिवॉल्व करना पड़ेगा। अगर उनको आप बाकायदे स्वायत्तता देते हैं या उसको आप सक्षम बनाने की कोशिश करते हैं तो वो बन पाएंगे। और ऐसे न जाने और कई तरह के जानकारियां हैं, कई तरह की सिफारिशें हैं, कई तरह के सुझाव हैं, लेकिन सबसे पते की बात यह है कि जो टियर 2 और टियर 3 सिटीज़ हैं सर, सबसे ज़्यादा तकलीफ़ें वहाँ देखने को ऐसे मिलते हैं कि उनके पास फंक्शंस, फंड्स और फंक्शनरीज तीनों काफ़ी कम होते हैं। जिसके बाद ये भी है कि उन पे जो दबाव है कि शहर को उनको चलाना है, कई सारे फंक्शंस उनको करने हैं। अब जैसे आपने कहा एक ही आदमी जो है वो 2-3 तरह के काम कर रहा है, जबकि स्पेशलाइजेशन तो कायदे से सबका अलग अलग होना चाहिए। सैनिटेशन इंस्पेक्टर अगर है तो उसका काम अलग होना चाहिए, बाकी जो अगर सिविल इंजीनियर है तो उसका काम अलग होना चाहिए, अर्बन प्लानर से आर्किटेक्ट है उसका काम अलग होना चाहिए। लेकिन कई मरतबा नहीं हो पाता है क्योंकि स्टाफ नहीं है उतने, लेकिन प्रेशर उनको पूरे सिटी को चलाना है। हम विजुअलाइज करते हैं बड़े बड़े जो बड़े कॉरपोरेशंस हैं, लगभग 243-246 कॉरपोरेशंस हैं इंडिया में। हम ये परिकल्पना करते हैं कि दे शुड एक्चुअली फंक्शन लाइक अ मल्टीनेशनल कंपनी। अगर अपने सिटी को मैनेज करना है तो दे हैव टू इवॉल्व लाइक एमएनसी, वही वो कर पाएंगे। लेकिन अगर उसी के अगर दूसरी तरफ देखा जाए तो जो छोटे हैं, मंझौले और छोटे जो हमारे इकाइयां हैं, नगर इकाइयां हैं, उनके साथ अपने अलग तरह के इश्यूज हैं, प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, लेकिन हमें उनको पास जाना पड़ेगा। उनको कहीं ना कहीं उनके अनुसार, उनके कहे अनुसार उनको अपलिफ्ट करना पड़ेगा। और एक बारगी से हम बहुत बड़ा परिवर्तन तो नहीं देख लेंगे, लेकिन अगर हमने छोटे छोटे कदम लेने शुरू कर दिए और अगर सेंटर और स्टेट अगर दोनों मिलकर अगर इसको एक मिशन मोड में अगर इसको करा जाए तो शायद ये हो जाएगा, क्योंकि 5,000 यूएलबीज को छूना आसान नहीं है। और ये भी बात है कि फिजिकल ट्रेनिंग करके भी सबको नहीं किया जा सकता है, तो आज के डिजिटल माध्यम से, टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से हमको इससे जुड़ना पड़ेगा और छोटे छोटे साइज के कोर्सेज उसको देने पड़ेंगे और उनको नज करना पड़ेगा। बिहेवियरल नज की जो बात हुई थी वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि वो अगर वो जब तक वो ना किया जाए शायद हम आगे कारगर नहीं हो पाएंगे इस पर बहुत ज़्यादा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका, सारे पैनलिस्ट मेंबर्स का, आप लोग आए और आपने अपने बड़े अच्छे सुझाव दिए हैं। और थैंक्स अ लॉट टू आवर मॉडरेटर श्री समीर शर्मा सर फॉर टेकिंग दिस अप टू द फर्स्ट सेशन। नाउ वी आर लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू स्टार्ट द नेक्स्ट सेशन सर, बिकॉज वी आर ओनली हैविंग 1 more hour and we have about 9 speakers, so we will try to see that okay, each speaker should take about 5 minutes or so, and then more time should we can get at least 20-25 minutes so to have more discussion, क्योंकि अगर हम चर्चा करते हैं तब जाके हमें कई अलग अलग बातें समझ में आती है, और अगर हम चर्चा ना करें तो वो सिर्फ एक मोनोलॉग हो जाएगा प्रेजेंटेशन। सो धन्यवाद सर।
I'd request the panelists to stay on stage for a group picture, please. Sir. We'll just take a couple of minutes to set up the stage for the next session. We will now begin with the second sub-session of this breakout session. The team has spent a lot of effort putting together a very illustrious set of speakers. So please, I request a little bit of patience as I introduce all 9 of them. I promise to be very quick. As I introduce them, I would request the speakers to please walk up and take their places on the platform. Dr. Sudhir Krishna is the former Secretary of the erstwhile Ministry of Urban Development, Government of India, and is a senior urban policy leader who steered major national programs, including JNNURM and the early design of the Smart Cities mission. He has chaired standards committees on smart city frameworks, serves as a national resource person for DOPT on leadership, and delivers executive programs for senior civil servants while advising on urban policy and standards. Shri Surendra Nath Tripathi is Director General of the Indian Institute of Public Administration, where he has modernized pedagogy, scaled programs, and enabled live stream lectures to reach officials in remote locations. Under his leadership, IIPA has diversified offerings, including digital governance and climate adaptation, converted trainings into case studies and manuals, and strengthened regional branches to deepen institutional learnings for civil servants. Dr. Jairaj Phatak is Director General of the AIILSG, a pan-India institution delivering diplomas and short courses for elected representatives and municipal officers. He has expanded partnerships and specialized trainings in climate finance, sanitation, and GIS, while tailoring programs to strengthen administrative and technical capabilities across municipal cadres. Shri Shyama Prasad Roy serves as Joint Secretary at the Capacity Building Commission, Government of India, under the Department of Personnel and Training. He leads initiatives to strengthen institutional capacity and enhance civil service effectiveness across the country. A little more applause, please, I know, but a little more applause. You guys are very loud. Srimati Nancy Sahai is Director, Urban Administration Department, Government of Jharkhand, overseeing municipal administration and capacity building across the state's urban bodies. She organizes commissioner-level workshops on municipal finance and smart city tools and works with the Capacity Building Commission to develop annual training plans for state urban cadres. Dr. Sunita Purushottam is Global Chairperson of the Global Buildings Performance Network, leading its agenda on sustainable buildings and policy. She embeds capacity building into curricula, workshops and policy trainings, and has recently delivered multi-session programs, including in Indonesia, equipping government officials and professionals with skills in sustainable finance, codes, and decarbonization strategies. Shri Rakesh Verma is Chief Operating Officer, IGOT Karmayogi, with over 24 years experience in GovTech and digital public infrastructure. He leads the strategy, platform roadmap, AI integration, and nationwide adoption of IGOT Karmayogi, advancing competency-based capacity building across ministries, states, and union territories. Joining us through a recorded message is Ms. Kazuko Ishigaki, Regional Director, Asia and the Pacific UN Habitat, where she leads capacity building across the region to advance inclusive and resilient urban planning. Joining us through VC is Mr. Hendra Adi Kapila, who is Capacity Development and Learning Coordinator at UCLG ASPAC. This session, again, will be moderated by Dr. Sameer Sharma, former Chief Secretary, Government of Andhra Pradesh. The chair for this session will be Shri Gopal Prasad, Economic Advisor, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Gopal, for chairing the session. And now I will start Dr. Sunita. I think she has a flight to catch. So Sunita, you know, sustainability and climate responsive urban management practices. Tell us what are the capacity constraints faced by the local bodies and how to go about it. You heard a lot.
Yes,
so you know
in the earlier
what
session, yes.
MOA is looking at. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I think I'll share a little bit about what we are planning to do and what could be the potential challenges. And this is regarding the code. Many of you might have heard about the Energy Conservation and Sustainable Building Code. And this is going to come up in a big way. Currently, the code was released.
Again, in consultation with Chairman, request if you can tell us solutions.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
please.
absolutely.
Because challenges already.
Yeah.
Gopal has given.
I wouldn't
Yeah, please.
talk about the
Yeah, please,
challenges. Yes, definitely. I would come up with share some innovative ideas. I have a private sector background and I've come into this role very recently, and hence it equips me with I've seen challenges enough, but what all innovative solutions could be brought in. The plan is to do capacity building, get the code in. What it means is the Ministry of Power, Bureau of Energy Efficiency, has come up with the code ECSBC 2024 for commercial and residential buildings. What it means is local urban bodies will have to ensure that they understand what it means to deploy this code. There currently, as we have heard about the challenges, there is manpower constraint. The Bureau of Energy Efficiency was actually deploying 3 member cells in each states, and they have also reduced their manpower. So one of the ways that we look at it as a as an organization which is donor funded, is to add on manpower to ensure that these SDCs, the state designated authorities, continue to operate. In terms of capacity building, there is a master training program that would be required, just as in the case of the earlier code, and just as the earlier ECBC code. There is a master training program. There is a third-party auditors that will be institutionalized. So it's not just about the local urban body, but train a set of third-party auditors who will actually help give their audit reports to the government authorities, the urban local bodies, so that it is certified as a ECBC building. So one of the solutions is to ensure that these third-party auditors develop the lens that needs to be communicated, and only then the tick mark of a ECSBC building will be given. The first step, however, is a digital platform where the data starts coming in regarding the buildings, right? And the first piece of training is actually not local urban bodies, but all the architects who are designing buildings. So the stakeholders here are builders, people who are developing multifamily homes and so on, and the architectural firms. There is a private sector program called the Solar Decathlon India, which is about young students. And they are trying to solve a problem where through hands-on learning and mentorship. So there is a private sector and student mentorship platform that has been created. It's called the Solar Decathlon, to train how we can get to net zero. So it's like changing a light bulb. We are saying that we have to get to net zero, but nobody knows how to get to net zero. So it is a multifaceted program. It is multidisciplinary teams come into the picture and then try to solve the problem how to get to net zero. So ECSBC or India getting to net zero, especially on the built environment, because 36% of the emissions are associated with the built environment globally. In India, it is 24% and it's increasing. And like we heard earlier also, that a lot of energy consumption is because of the built environment. So the 2 things that we can learn from Solar Decathlon India is how to train the young and make them collaborate, and similarly work in a collaborative fashion, give hands-on training so that they can actually deploy projects, that this is what a ECBC building could look like or a sustainable building could look like. For ULB, there are simple ways or simple guidelines that can be devised, and we are working on simple guidelines that they also can develop trained eyes. What is a good building, bad building? It can be also gamified, which is in my head, a good building, bad building, a good, a shop facade, whether it is heat resilient and all of that. So many of these interesting, simplification of complicated concept. The code is very complicated. We need to simplify it, make it practical, learnable, and collaborative. All departments who are giving the planning permission, the urban planning, the building Bankam department, all of them have to be trained together. So these are some innovative ideas, could be around like what you've been suggesting, around small digital modules that could be brought about.
Thank
for
you. That
training.
was very, very interesting stuff. Catch them young, train them young.
Yeah.
Then ULBs, architects, net zero. So you could think of I don't know whether they have this participation annual on the platform of the NIUA.
Yeah, so that,
No,
yeah,
you could
so
think of that.
yeah, so one of the other things that Bureau of Energy Efficiency, Ministry of Power has been trying to do it alone. This time, in the sense that all the capacity training and SDAs, so they have control over the state designated authorities. But if Ministry of Housing together, which has to actually operationalize the code together, we can actually create the digital modules with the platforms that Ministry of Housing is developing. It would become much more integrated than sitting standalone, like one program here, one program
So
there.
I'll tell you a very interesting thing, Gopal. This in Las Vegas, if you go, it's only glass and steel. You know, now they have a mandate that in 2 years they have to dismantle all the glass and steel and make it eco-friendly buildings. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
So we could leapfrog that stage, and instead of going for glass and steel, we could go to the next stage.
Thank you. And that's what I meant by good building, bad building. So in Indian climate, in what climatic zones you are able to develop it and how you're able to develop it. And every person, actually common man, should be able to say whether a building that we are making is a good building, bad building. And we have to demystify these things and simplify it and take it down to that level. While there will be technical people, so the levels of training will be different, and gamification, I think, is required.
Thank
for
you.
this.
Are there any questions from the audience? And otherwise, audience gets left to be. Anything on this? Is it fresh in your memory? By the time 6, 7 people finish, you have anybody, anything? Yes. Please, Nanda, you can introduce yourself and do it.
Mike, please
Yeah.
give the mic more.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, I'm Nanda. I'm from NIUA, and I think I have a question which is related to previous panel and also connecting to the current one, sir. I think you highlighted a couple of facts, which is leveraging the academic institutions that India has and taking the analogy of the e-commerce platforms. I think the way warehouses have come to the dark stores in the neighborhoods, I think how can the Center of Excellences and institutions like these can leverage the academic institutions in India to deliver the capacity program on the ground, just in time, like in a 10-minute delivery kind of a model, instead of looking at in a structured delivery. So that is something that I wanted to check in. Yeah, thank you.
Anybody? How does it intersect with the lead LED buildings?
Yeah, so
LED LED building?
Yeah, so the ECBC becomes the base for, it's a base criteria. So there is ECBC, super ECBC, there is a level to that. This becomes the base for any certification. It becomes a base for environmental clearance. So there is another ministry which is involved here, which is the Ministry of Environment.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sunita. Now, we will have, I think, the video session from Ms. Kazuko Ishigaki. Yes, please.
Mr. Gopal Prasad, Economic Advisor, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Session Moderator, my esteemed co-panelists, Mr. G. Madhivatanam, Director General, State Administrative Training Institute, Odisha, Mr. Sunita Purushottam, Chairperson, Global Buildings Performance Network, Dr. Sudobhya Krishna, former Secretary, Ministry of Urban Development, Dr. Samia Sharma, former Chief Secretary, Government of Andhra Pradesh, distinguished panelists, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, Namaste, and warm greetings from UN Habitat Regional Office for Asia and the Pacific. It's a distinct honor to share this video message with such a distinguished audience, gathered to discuss one of the most vital enablers of urban transformation, capacity building. I extend my sincere appreciation to the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs and the National Institute of Urban Affairs for convening this National Urban Conclave under the theme Sustainable Urban Development and Governance. This theme couldn't be more timely or relevant. Across the globe, and especially in India, cities are emerging as epicenters of growth, innovation, and resilience. Yet, they also face immense challenges. Rapid urbanization, environmental degradation, climate vulnerability, fiscal constraints, and the digital divide. How cities respond to these global challenges will shape whether our shared future is equitable, sustainable, and resilient. And at the heart of this response lies capacity, the ability of institutions and individuals to drive meaningful change. India's vision of Viksit Bharat 2047 is bold and inspiring, a vision of a prosperous, inclusive, and climate-resilient nation. National and certainly local governments must play a defining role in this journey. Urban transformation is not just about infrastructure or investment. It's about how effectively city institutions plan, learn, and deliver, ensuring that no one and no place is left behind. Globally, UN Habitat serves as a custodian agency for the new urban agenda and Sustainable Development Goal 11, advocating for sustainable cities and human settlements. We have long championed the principle that strong, capable institutions, national and local, alongside engaged communities, are the foundations for sustainable development. Through dedicated tools and methodologies, UN Habitat works across all levels of government to monitor urban conditions that promote spatial equity and inclusion. Our data platform, such as the Global Urban Observatory and the City Prosperity Initiative, support evidence-based decision-making. We also provide policy, planning, and financing tools that incorporate the people's process. In other words, ensuring meaningful community participation and empowerment. India today boasts one of the world's most extensive ecosystems for urban capacity development through institutions, training centers, and partnership with think tanks like NEWA and state urban development agencies. Yet, challenges persist. Many urban local bodies still lack skilled personnel in urban planning, municipal finance, and digital management. Smaller towns in particular struggle to attract and retain talent and mobilize resources. Bridging these gaps require a multi-level, multi-sectoral approach anchored in national vision, supported by states, and driven by local innovation, partnerships, and data-informed decisions. UN Habitat's global experience, strengthened by its convening power and international partnerships, shows that capacity building is not just a peripheral activity, it's a core architecture of effective urban governance. In India, several collaborative initiatives are underway, so let me highlight a few. Urban Rasta, developed by UN Habitat in close partnership with the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, equips city planners and leaders with practical skills to develop climate action plans, sustainable master plans, and lead green projects. The Young Game Changers initiative in Journey, Odisha, empowers youth through digital skills training and promotes inclusive public spaces, fostering active youth participants in urban governance and transformation. The Anku initiative, launched this year in Odisha, is another collaborative effort where UN Habitat is a co-signatory. It focuses on capacity building, knowledge sharing, and research to scale inclusive and climate-resilient urban solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude by reaffirming UN Habitat's commitment to supporting strong partnership and the roadmap that will emerge from this conclave. Together, we can better equip national governments, city officials, and communities to make informed, innovative, and climate-conscious decisions, contributing to the creation of inclusive, resilient, and future-ready cities in line with Viksit Bharat 2047. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kazuki. Such a short and so it's a powerful message. Thank you very much. Now we'll hear Mr. Hendra Adi Susila, please.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me clearly? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Sure. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Good evening.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes, good evening, and really honored to be able to speak in front of you. And I will speak very briefly about the UCIG Spark experience in capacity building and learning activities in the promotion of the city partnerships, resilient cities in Asia Pacific. So if I may, that I share with you my presentations. Okay. So yeah, I will start my presentation with the introduction of the UCLG ASPAC as the organizations. Sorry. So our long history of the organization started in 1913, where IULA, or International Union of Local Authorities, is established in Belgium, and then we are progressing to be established in Asia Pacific in 1989, where Jakarta is willing to host the organization in Jakarta. So UCIG ASPAC Secretariat is now hosted by Jakarta government, started in 1989 until now, where in 2004 the IULA was merged with the UTO, or United Towns Organization and Metropolis, and they agreed to form the new organization called UCLG. And for the Asia Pacific region, um, Jakarta government is always willing to still willing to host the organization of today. So we are in Jakarta in the Jakarta government city hall. So today we are connected with around 10,000 cities in the region, and globally we are connected with around 200,000 cities, local governments um, in the world. So our work is now focused on the city resilience and also city-to-city partnerships. So our work, our project is now covering Urban Act, and now we are implementing the APLG. We are as coordinator of Asia Pacific Local Governments Coordinating Body, and we also host the ASEAN Governors and Mayors Forum, which is the annual conference that we also taking part of the capacity building programs during the forum or conference. And we also now coordinating the project called the Urban Mekong Corridor Initiatives, where it's also working with local governments in the Mekong sub-regions. And we're also working with local governments in Bangladesh and Nepal for municipalities network advocacy on sanitation in South Asia. So South Asia, including India, is not new for us because we also have local government members in India, and also we also in partnership with All India Institute of Self-Government, of local self-governments, that we also doing the training with them. So UCI JASPAC has 9 standing committee. There are also thematic topics such as cultures, tourism, and humanitarian development and peace, Belt and Road, maritime, logistic committee, and women leaderships. And we also have the standing committee for regions such as Southeast Asia and South and
Mr.
Southeast Asia.
Mr. Susila, you have got one more minute, please.
Yeah,
Wind up.
sure. So for building a stronger, adaptive, and connected cities through 4 strategic pillars, so we are localizing the global goals. We're also facilitating the VLRs and implementing the urban resilience projects such as the Urban Act, and also we are focused on climate adaptation, DRR, and waste management. And also we facilitating the city-to-city learning, which we have been facilitating 30 plus partnerships in 2020. We also doing the capacity building. We have been training almost 5,000 officials in the region. We're also doing the advocacy and voice of voicing the local governments in ASEAN and also the Asia Pacific local governments. And lastly, we promoting the peer learning platforms. We are in partnerships with several training centers doing the regional training and learning, including the VSR, VLR networks. So we promoting the city partnerships, and we hope that more Indian cities, all facilitating Surabaya and Kita Kyushu, Jakarta and Seoul, Bogor and Nagasaki, Makassar and Yokohama for several focused and thematic. I would say that power of partnership is when the city learn together, they grow stronger. So resilience grow from partnership, and the inclusion grows from trust. So together, Asia Pacific cities are growing. The collaboration is the fastest path to sustainability. So thank you so much for your attention. I'll return the floor to the moderator.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now I'll request Dr. Sudhir Krishna. He was Secretary UD when the lot of capacity building was going on. I mean, the CCVP, CBUD and all that. So I asked him, but you can always talk much more. What are the institutional reforms needed to ensure that administrative and technical strength happens at the city level, please?
Thanks, Amir. I think the time is short. I have much to say, but I'll try to be brief. Yeah, 5 minutes is my target. Okay, a small presentation which will help me to keep the time, and I'm going to keep a timer also of 5 minutes for myself. Okay, I wish there was a timer here for every speaker, but anyhow, thanks. So, friends, now is thanks. Thanks. Oops, sorry. No problem. So, the okay. But thanks. Oh, you are great. Quickly fixed. Thanks. Thanks. Yeah, great. So, friends, there are 5 dimensions of the capacity challenge I have identified based on what I have been observing all these years, even now. And it's emotional challenges and size optimality challenge and competing parastatals and managerial capacities. And let us see how all this can be resolved. I am proposing resolution also, not difficult. Next, please. Thanks. So the emotional challenge, we are pushing too much expectations from the municipalities, but whether they are emotionally in that state of mind to take up the challenges. So irregular elections, we don't have elections and people feel lost that who to approach, whether mayor, councillor or commissioner, administrator. There's a confusion what is meant by municipality. And even the leadership role, mayor or president of the municipality, not much empowered also. And in fact, in the warrant of precedence, if you see for ceremonies, who are the senior most and so on, the mayor comes way down below below the deputy Lokayukta also. He comes below that also. He's the city father, but where he stands. And even commissioner is not senior enough and his tenure is very short. And the state finance commission, which are supposed to be, backbone of financial strength and for the municipal and panchayat bodies, they are not constituted. Their reports are ignored. In fact, ministry has put conditions. 15th Finance Commission recommended, and the ministry issued orders that until you constitute the Finance Commission and implement their reports by 31st March 25, further grants shall not be released. But I think they are not bothered. There is some issue. We have to resolve that. So the suggestions are there that upgrade. This gives a feeling where you position the municipalities, upgrade them in the warrant of precedence, and create forums. Now currently there is a Indian Road Congress going on, and I meet the engineers. They are so excited and proud of being road engineers. So like that, it should be a forum of mayors. There is a forum, but it has to be activated. Forum of municipal engineers, forum of urban planners, and so on and so forth. Thanks. Next. So I think size optimality is another thing. We are confused as what is the right size of municipality and accordingly what is staffing. Now Delhi experimented by trifurcating the municipal corporation and again making a single corporation. They are not sure. So at least we should study. Bangalore has recently divided the corporation into five corporations, just last month only. So we should examine, I propose, I don't know whether NIUA can sponsor a study as to find out what is the optimal size of a municipality and what is the staffing required for that. And you see, one more thing, you see, HR framework, yes, we can try experiment. Next, please. The parastatals are competing out of the, we have mentioned constitution, the 12th schedule, 18 items listed, only 5.5 items are given outside the municipal corporation, and the experience is before us. So let us learn from positive and negative and find the ways. Thank you. Next. And last is the managerial challenge, and 2 slides are there, that there is an ambivalence in cadre, whether the municipality should have its own cadre. Wherever their own cadre, there are deficiencies also in the cadre. The strength of the cadre is not very, the capabilities are not very strong. So whether we can have states strong own cadre with partial integration, like in the All India services, there is a migration from the state service. Like that, can we have something like that? Because there is a confusion and capability challenge. Staff, too many vacancies are there. No, neither the staff is augmented. I see when I meet the municipal officers, the mission programs are coming up like anything. Funds are coming with unprecedented flow of funds, and but there are no staff to manage that. Can we have district level public service commissions where the local staff can be recruited in a systematic manner? It's a big scandal at times, and the challenge also to have proper staffing. Can we have training institutions where very few states have SIUDs, or State Institute of Urban and Regional Planning, very few states. Where they are adjunct to the ATI, and sometimes I can say Naam ka vaste SIUD, so to say. Can we have proper SIUDs? Can the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs support that? SIRDs were supported by the Ministry of Rural Development. Then only SIRDs came up to some stature. Can we not have a program of funding? It don't cost much, but benefits will be far too large. But last slide, please. Thank you. The procurement challenges. Municipalities face 3 big challenge procurement, and is scandalous also at times because their manuals are not updated. Staff is not trained in handling those things. I mean, because I interact with them at different planes, sometime in arbitration, sometime in now, and sometime as a training trainer and so on. So I find that the procurement manuals need to be updated, and their training has to be conducted, and then the standards are not there. The standards, they are lost, they are not able to handle very big manuals and so on. Their own manuals, why can't the Ministry of Urban Development, Housing and Urban Affairs introduce the model building bylaws? Like that, why can't we produce many model procurement manual for municipalities and so on? It will help them, and align them with the local conditions and so on. Last, I would say that, last point, sir, previous one, in the previous slide, yeah. The last point is the database. Own database is not there. How much property they own? Of course, ministry has made many efforts. Cities program is there. Or in city infrastructure, any DPR you want to prepare, you do not know what are the utilities submerged in the road, under the road. And the total confusion, in digging up the road and so on. So database using the BSLD framework is there from Ministry of Statistics. Cities program is there. All these have to be harnessed to have a GIS-based mapping of resources. I'm sure municipalities have the capacity. Resources are there. Capacities have to be augmented, but resources are abound. Only thing is we have to augment the resources, capacities, and harness the resources. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for bringing out in such a complete way the structural and governance level constraints and also possible solutions. Thank you, sir. If there are any questions, we'll take it, because in the end you tend to forget what he has said, and then we may also run out of time. Any questions on this? Yes. Yes, please.
So one is that NIU would be happy to look into the split of the Bangalore Municipal BBMP, but I think we should do it after some time, just to understand what has been its impact. And on the asset registration, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs has already taken an initiative to for asset registration of urban local bodies. So this is underway. I just thought I should bring to the table. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Kundu, for updating us. Anybody else? Yes, please. Yeah, so mic is coming. Please, mic is coming.
They have not
Please.
only divided 5 corporations, but water supply is already handled by Bangalore-based agency. Solid waste also is handled by another agency under the municipal corporation, which will now be under the Greater Bangalore Corporation. So water supply, solid waste is separate, and 5 corporations will handle other things.
Thank you. Even more fragmentation, huh? This is what you're saying. Okay.
Hello.
Anybody else? Yes.
Sir, you have raised the points very rightly. Actually, I just wanted to understand, because we have reform at the central level and state level also. Intercity infrastructure we have worked. But actually, urban local bodies are going to be main economic driver for this country if we are aspiring to become a developed country by 2047. Sir, just wanted to understand, this important segment of governance has been left to inexperienced leadership. And secondly, rightly you mentioned, commissioners, they just after passing out, they go there. Such an important assignment. And they also stay there for by the time they learn, they are transferred out. So they go and take up the higher responsibility. So that is the one problem. So when we are talking about urban local bodies capacity building, what is our vision? If we are going to be future ready and citizen-centric kind of urban local bodies, how this issue, this capacity building at this level will be addressed? That is the main problem. Sir, just wanted to understand.
Good suggestion. I think that you have made a good suggestion. Only thing is, I think that in this country, ministry has got a lot of role to nudge the state. Let us not let the ministry not try to implement everything. Nudging is very important. Nudging the state, getting things done rather than doing things by the government of India. So thing is that maybe state chief ministers have to be called, they have to be asked that why can't you post more senior officers as municipal commissioners? Why can't? It is possible. It is not impossible. They are not losing anything. It should be possible.
Not only that, sir. There is another problem. We have never identified, key metrics. Sir, I had an opportunity to manage Jamshedpur city because I was chief town services for Jamshedpur, and I also handle multiple international cities also, in Lagos, Singapore also. Mostly when you look at the managing the urban cities, you need to set first of all vision, right kind of leadership to drive that vision, and thereafter you have to identify key metrics. What are the key points you want to achieve, and whether those things are citizen-centric or not, and process-driven or not. So all these things, unless we discuss holistically, we cannot address it.
I just want to conclude because other speakers are there and time is short. I just want to say one thing, that as I said, that emotional strength is most important. In public working, it is the emotional strength, not the financial strength, not many things. First and foremost is the emotional strength. Now what happens is, Dr. Kundu and I, we were together in the Delhi State Finance Commission, she will recall. At that time, there were 3 municipal corporations. And we had meeting with and the 3 ladies were there. Each municipal had a female president or mayor. And what a fine vision they had. Totally, you cannot believe until you talk to a mayor. And those who have not talked to mayor, they will have some impression. Those who speak to a mayor in a professional manner, not about politics, just talk about professional work, then you know what is the depth, what are the emotions involved. But at the heart, they knew they have only 1 year term. So the thing is that how you nurture the system, how you put, in which framework you put a person. We say collector in the country is very strong because the emotional framework in which he, the collector, is positioned. That is how he is strong. Otherwise, he also has two limbs and, you know, has all two eyes and so on. But it is the emotional. So if we give respect to the mayor, if we elevate the position, they are far more, they will quickly change because they are working with the people. They have come through elections. They have to answer the people. They meet with the people on a daily basis. It's a wonderful opportunity, but we are constraining everywhere, you know, put chaining everywhere and they are not moving. So I think there is an opportunity. It is an opportunity is there. And I'm sure other panelists will also throw light. I don't want to take away the time of others. Please.
Thank you. So I'll just add, sir. So when N.T. Ramarao was there, he made the term of mayors 5 years and directly elected. And we got one of the most outstanding mayors. Vizag, we got a lawyer whose son was a High Court judge and he became the Bar Council of India president later on. Then they changed it to 1 year. And then I was Municipal Commissioner Hyderabad. I could see the difference. As he rightly says, 1 year, 3 year direct election. Thank you. Now, sir, I'll request Mr. S.N. Tripathi. Tell us, I mean, you have so much experience. You're the only person who's even having experience today, ongoing experience, work in progress for you always, SN. So what are behavioral and institutional constraints and particularly elected representatives? We forget to train them also. Ne? Those everybody has talked about architects, etc. Plus anything else you want to tell. Please.
From the CUS side, sir.
Yeah.
So that is the more important.
In fact, I put the timer 5 minutes, so I will keep it 5 minutes. One, in CUS, started since 1963. Our job was to mainstream urban agenda among non-urban people. Non-urban, I am very specifically saying, because very few people in urban, you understand what is urban, but other than non-urban, they don't understand. So IAPA provided that facility to the non-urban government servants who come to the IAPA for their training. Two, we created literature on urban success story on a UGC care listed Nagar Lok publication, where student, academic, and other world people are encouraged to write. Our job was to create India-specific, India-centric literature also, and these two jobs has been done by CUS IIPA. On top of it, we have been training people both at IIPA and also at the pit head, what we call it, at the municipal level, because it is easier to get them. One thing very clear, municipalities doesn't want to pay for training, and they would not like to buy a training capsule from anywhere, even if it is on IGOT. So let's understand that they don't value training as such. When we talk to the mayor, we train all the municipal mayors of Jammu and Kashmir, and I will share one thing. उनका कहना था सर हमारी ट्रेनिंग हमारे कलेक्टर और कमिश्नर के साथ करो. Why the hell they don't cooperate with us? We would like to train them in front of us. This is a practical suggestion so that at least the team building should happen. What Sudhir Krishna sir was selling, the emotional content. Collector, everybody invested. They have eyes and ears of the chief minister. They deliver. Mayors don't have eyes and ears even of the state government, much less of the central government. And central government, the message I am getting that you want to be treated as a technical ministry, then who will handhold the municipal governance and municipal administration? I don't think this is the best strategy for MOH. Mohua, but then you are the best judge of your institution. I can't pass any value judgment on that. Second thing and final thing regarding the training, sir, somebody has to revisit 74th Amendment as far as urban is concerned. Tenure, regular election, fixed tenure of the mayor, not making them whimsical chairs so that they will understand nothing, so that you can give a dog a bad name and kill it. These are institutionally mandated things where mayor can be ignored sufficiently. We will have some committed municipal commissioners like Samir Sharma and others who will make a change, but you need to build up a team to deliver. It is team that delivers at district level and state level, not the policies alone, sir. That has been our understanding as far as urban governance is concerned. One more point that I thought I would like to say, this current CBC avatar and the new look at the training program, we think that digitally we can learn everything. I don't think you will hire a driver who has learned driving digitally. Some of you might be very confident, but then at least I would not like. But I would like to hire a driver who has learned digitally also, but he has had a valid certificate of a competent institution. I don't want to distinguish between A and B and C, maybe there are many more.
center of excellence are there. They are now adding more wisdom to it. But the wisdom that we are co-creating should be available to all the institutions on a IGOT or any such nationally recognized platform. They should not again go back to the golden cage or institutional cage that catch me if you can. If COE is creating a content, that should be made available to everybody, if not in the multi-language, at least in the same language to all of us, so that we need not co-create the same thing. If some COS has done it and COE has done it. And finally, sir, I would certainly add that we should distinguish whose capacity we want to develop. Municipal commissioner elected or the selected ones. In any case, elected, the posts are 100% filled up with women and many other type of category of people coming. And for their training, emotional investment, giving them a small knowledge of how to conduct meeting, how to record proceeding, how to rein or how to control the bureaucracy, those things are good enough. But for bureaucracy, you can't train because they are not there to be available. In Jammu Kashmir, sir, every municipality has one engineer. Now one engineer has 3 municipalities. So he is answerable to none. I don't think we can imagine a collector who will be in charge of 2 districts. We have never had it in any of the system in India, sir. And you are saying IAS officers not being available. Today, out of 375 JS posts, only 50 IAS officers are available at JS level, even in the government of India. In 95 onwards, we recruited only 50, 60 at IAS level and many more. All those vacancies are now visible in the field as well as at the center level. So these vacancies are going to happen. The solution that we are thinking that we will hire outsourced employees. So you can hire outsourced employee for delivering a service, but operation and maintenance with no skin in the game, they will fly by the night along with the wisdom when their tenure is over. We have seen the no loyalty in IT companies, but our government institution require loyalty and continuity both. Only then investment on them will be fruitful. Otherwise, we'll keep on training, we keep on changing. In elected, we can bear with it, but selected, we must have some tenure. And in fact, you don't give them fund and functions, but at least first thing is we should give them functionaries. With functionaries, they will find out some way to deliver. But if you don't have anyone, then we can certainly blame the urban for inefficiency. And last thing, sir, since I have some 30 seconds extra because of my batchmate is presiding, so I can take some advantage. In 47, what will be the role of urban local bodies? Should we still have 74th Amendment by 47? My answer would be that municipality should be only a supervising body. Let all the services be delivered by parastatal bodies so that efficiency, scale benefit, planning benefit, and all those things can come. If I am a mayor, I would like all the school to be managed by DPS society so that all children become civil servants. And I would not like my municipality to run my school when they can't be selected by the Swachhata Abhiyan. So if we want quality, we should encourage quality institution at urban level. It cannot be a debate between who manages. The debate is whether citizen is satisfied. And citizen can be satisfied by better services. Sir, one example I would certainly give. DPI was mentioned by the secretary. Digital public infrastructure and all those things are how we deliver development. We have seen the example of banks. People wanted banking, they never wanted bank. Whether State Bank is there or any XYZ bank is there, doesn't matter, as long as my account and my UPI functions. Same thing should come in the urban PM Gati Shakti type of initiative, that you find out who will deliver the services and then ask them to deliver it. Let the cost be a little different. People are prepared to pay the cost instead of waiting for a rickety municipality to become capable and all the functionaries being transferred to a non-existent municipality and hoping for them to deliver today or even tomorrow. Last 60 years we have seen they can't. Next 22 years is too short a time to experiment with this arrangement. Maybe it looks revolutionary, maybe it looks little out of box, but these are the areas where you can think and suggest out of box also. Thank you very much for giving a chance.
Thank you, Mr. Tripathi. It's really out of box. And you know what he is saying actually, in Hyderabad, the entire road network was given to SPV, as you're saying. So why don't we think of this, as he says, give it to parastatals and SPVs, as Sri Krishna also said. they're making SPVs with the local body to deliver these things and leave the balance to the local body. Questions? Anybody? Before you forget what he said. Yes.
Yes, roasting suit, immediate.
Sir, I agree with the most of point you said, sir. As a citizen, I have a perspective that whenever we think about the urban local bodies, we always have a perception of service provider, not the city manager, right? So, like sir said, we have a lot of successful model where parastatal agencies and SPVs come, and they basically pressure off ULBs for the different service delivery functions like Watcos and Swakshandras of the world. Then only, sir, the ULB will have, like you said, 74th Amendment have 18 functions, out of which at least 6 to 7 functions are there where ULBs are not even touching those functions, like social or economic development of the city. If these service providers options can be pressure off from the ULBs, they can more think about the social and economic development, and then multiple urban centers who have a distributed avenues of migrations and other things can contribute to basically achieve the vision of 2047.
But very small comment, the mere economy of China, what we aspire to be, I don't think that is going to happen so soon as far as my imagination goes, sir. Because the mayors in China, they are party representatives, one person government, they have all the power beginning from president to the level of chief minister, and they become center of attraction for attracting investment which generates job and therefore develop the economy. Here we are only wanting them to be another service provider. They will continue to be poor because private sector will provide better, more efficient, maybe slightly costly service. Why should municipality run a hospital when we have a AIMS in Delhi? But then हम तो होगा हमारा झंडा ऊंचा रहना चाहिए. I don't think that झंडे की लड़ाई है, ये डंडे की लड़ाई नहीं है, citizen की लड़ाई है. Citizen should get all the services, whosoever delivers it. And absolutely, government should be one option, not the option.
I'll just add to that. Why do so many of us live in RWAs? Why does so many live in RWAs and gated communities? For this only. Better services, and you're paying so much more. So this is what he was trying to say. Yes, please. I mean, this is it's a outer box. So think about, yeah.
Thank you, sir. Sir has rightly said that ULBs in coming years should be more and more managerial. In fact, the specialized services should be done by SPVs under them. That is right. But sir, my thinking is that the whole issue, the central issue is to make ULBs small or big or middle, more professional. It has two aspects. One is the technical aspect and the managerial aspect. So don't you think that our engineers, they should also learn some managerial things, and the managers and administrative officers should also learn the basics of the technical things so that can manage the SPVs more efficiently?
If you are forcing me to my IAPA Professor Chair, then I would certainly respond. Technical skill everybody should know, be it municipal, be it elected or selected, how to do the job. A driver must know how to take right turn and click the right switch also. Otherwise, he can't say that I know only how to drive straight. So technical skill for all across, not only in, let's say, municipal engineer knowing only the urban local thing, he should also know how to run the accounts also. Because ultimately at times he is also used there. There is no question of specialization in a small organization. We need multi-purpose worker. So technical skill everybody, human skill some, how to communicate with superior and juniors, but some of them should be trained to have conceptual skill. Big picture of state, big picture of municipality, how we will attract migrant, how we'll have the rental colonies, how we'll have grant, the trunk infrastructure and all those things. Because everybody can't be thinking the same thing. You can't expect linemen and chairmen to be equally trained. And therefore there will be distinguished training. So technical skill training, 70% people, maybe human skill, another 30% extra, but conceptual training should be on 10 part, 12%. The module that we use in IIP is, sir, what we call it think, solve, communicate, collaborate, and lead. Think differently because my chasma cannot take care of your eyes. Howsoever best practice I give, it will not work on you. You have to look at through your eyes your own problems. So we should give you capacity to think differently. We should also give you capacity to solve the problem. The way I solve my problem may not be relevant for you, but I must encourage you that I did fail for following region. You can succeed with following region being given in the training. Similarly, communicate. Many people don't know how to communicate, how to ask the right question, and even how to answer the right question. So communication skill is as important as think, solve, and communicate. But most important training is collaborate. Ekla Chalore is good for Rabindra Sangeet, not in urban management. You have to work together. So collaboration by training, by design. Otherwise, the planner will say, हम तो planning करते हैं, who will implement it? It is not a kagaji plan, otherwise kagaji ghoda. So think, solve, communicate, collaborate. Only then you can lead, sir. Otherwise you will be at best a good worker, not even a good manager. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Now, we are with Jairaj ji, who knows more about training than Jairaj ji, legend. And यार जी ट्रेडिशनल म्यूनिसिपल ट्रेनिंग तो कब से कर रहे हैं हम लोग, है ना? हाँ, थोड़ा ये बिजनेस यूजुअल से हट के कुछ ट्रांसफॉर्मेटिव, कुछ ये कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड.
Well, my institute was set up by municipalities before Government of India was set up as an independent authority. So the municipalities decided which are the most important functions for them and what should be the training courses rather than they being discussed in conferences in Delhi. So the most important course of my institute is sanitary inspectors program, because there are far more sanitation staff than either town planners or officers or others. So improving the quality of thousands of sanitation staff is probably, it contributes to municipal efficiency far more than concentrating on other staff. So this training, which is of course one of the oldest, is undergoing change with online, WhatsApp, the new technology being introduced in the training. SI course is getting changed. The second most important course from the municipal point of view is what we call local self-government diploma, and which should be really called now diploma in municipal administration. Because again, next to sanitation staff, the largest number of employees in any municipality are the clerical, superintendent and other staff. That course is also revised every 10 years or so. Subjects are changing, new concepts which are coming. So these are the two most important courses with 7,000 SI trainees in 50 centers in India and 2,000 LSGD trainings in about 25 to 30 centers in India. Here I must say that the 3 or 4 cities which have been consistently finding as the cleanest cities in India, Indore, Surat, Navi Mumbai, all have a regional training center of All India Institute of Local Self-Government. I don't want to say that we deserve the training for what they are doing, but they have honored us by starting our training courses in often an accommodation provided by municipality, where the municipal staff gets trained for the SI course or for municipal clerical course. Now the third most important course for my institute, because in Western India, the 6 states from Maharashtra to Punjab, fire brigade is a subject entrusted to municipalities. So fireman course has about 800 to 1,000 students every year. This is again a 6 months course. Water supply and sewerage, my institute could not really start a new course because water supply and sewerage is a municipal subject, fully municipal subject only in 3 states. That is Maharashtra, Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. Well, these are the courses which institute itself started because it was set up by municipalities, and municipalities know where their largest number of employees work. Improving efficiency of the largest number of employees was found more important than training of the top management. Now the Government of India gave us money through the RCUS, Regional Center of Urban and Environmental Studies. Here the priorities are often decided by the central missions. like Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Amrut, but we give choice to the municipality what training do they want. Recently, we had an RCUS training program in Nashik because Nashik is going to have the next Kumbh Mela, Ardha Kumbh. So experts had come from Allahabad, which recently, that is Prayagraj, which recently conducted a very successful Kumbh Mela, and they gave tips to the Nashik officers what are the mistakes they may commit and mistakes they should avoid. Now, about Mr. Sudhir Krishna's comment about setting up of a, like SIRD and SIUD. Maharashtra was one of the states which created an SIUD in Yashoda and asked money from Government of India. I now tell them that SIUD exists before SIRDs were set up. Municipalities are older than Jilla Parishads, and Ministry of Urban Development has created SIUDs, but since the municipal population was less than the rural population, the SIUDs are named RCUSs. For 4 or 5 states, there is one RCUS. We have been given Western India. So it very much exists. And I think what size of municipal corporation is ideal is like asking what size of state is ideal or what size of country is ideal. Ultimately, the citizens will decide whether they want to break Czechoslovakia into Czech Republic and Slovak Republic and still continue USSR as a very huge country. Citizen and the administration there. Same thing in Mumbai, this question was raised in the assembly. I said that it will not be in the interest of the city because the water supply comes from outside. If it is divided in the 3 corporations, the eastern suburbs will say that, well, I would like to charge you more for the water supply. Entire solid waste management goes into eastern suburb. Eastern suburbs will again fight for it. So whatever city or the local people want to have, if they want to divide into 10 cities, well, let them do. Because in fact, just now I quoted when Praja Foundation had a discussion, people keep on saying mayor in council, mayor in council. Calcutta has a mayor in council, Mumbai has a mayor, has a strong municipal commissioner. Which city is working better? It is everybody to see. So I often quote that Cowper sentence, that poet Alexander Pope quote, that for forms of government let fools contest. Whatever is the best administered is the best. Thank you.
Jaraji, as usual, at your so big best. And once again, thank you. Now, I'll just, 30 seconds I'll say. There's one IS officer from Andhra Pradesh who took retirement and joined Physics Wala. So he reached out to me 6 months ago. And Physics Wala has commissioned me, Jaraji, to make 30 to 45 minute sessions on techniques which work at the street level. So, there's stuff like this. When I was Municipal Commissioner Hyderabad, I found that there were a lot of women workers who were reporting sick and absenteeism. We checked up, they're all having back trouble. So, they used to have that small jhadu, jhuk ke karte the. So, we then gave them the jhadu with the stick. It took us 7 months, change management. They were not agreeing. So, this is what he is saying. So, this is the absolute zoom in level to what, the COEs were saying about zoom out completely. So, this is what the zoom in, as Jaraji is saying. I wanted to say that. Thank you, Jaraji. As usual, very well put and well given. Now, I'll request Mr. S.P. Roy. Yes, please.
So I come from Capacity Building Commission, which was created in 2021. And this is looking after a subset of what our sir DG IIPA was talking about. So we train, we are talking about training the employees. Employees here in this context is the urban local employees. So we realized the first thing is no one size fits all. And then in the previous session, we really learned that the physical infrastructure training isn't really working in the scenario. So we started working with the urban local bodies in the 7 cities, in the 7 urban local bodies. And from there, whatever we learned,
we took it to 1200 urban local centers and bodies. We started talking to the individuals, employees in a session and asked what they're doing, what is their role, what do they do. After that, then we started figuring out what is those functions that they need a competency on, and started matching those competencies with the courses available. I'm just talking about learning and training. That's our mandate, and that's what I'm talking about. So we started mapping the courses and the trainings he required, and then we put them on the IGOT. IGOT is Rakesh's baby. He was going to talk more about it, but you learned one thing, that courses of say 40, 45 minutes were really taking up. So they were meeting certain requirements which the individuals themselves felt about. They spoke about the need and we gave them. So that was meeting roles, and our motto was, it is shift from rule-based to role-based learning. So how do you make learning more specific? It was not only the online learning that we were looking at, we were also looking at the physical learning that we could do, peer learnings that could happen. And in this collaboration with agencies that we are working out came out loud. I'll give you an example. There's IFC sitting in this room, and that was referred to in the previous session also. So CBC, MOA and IFC collaborated in the urban local bodies that we had already worked in 7 cities. While they were doing, they started realizing that there are many caselets that could come out of all the experiences of talking in one room. So that experiences, if that could be captured and put on the web or on the IGOT, senior management level, before they start getting into a job, could learn from those cases. We could start off a case writing workshop. We also did that with our urban local bodies, and participants learned how do they capture the recent experiences in the field while they were posted in some places. So their learnings were captured, and then that becomes a material that is taught in the class. So this is a relevance which is of 3 years past experience, and that is what is being taught. At the same time, what we learned was, in the urban local bodies, tech is being used as citizen enablers, and it is not the internal enhancers that they are using that as. For example, I'll give you, the local bodies, the employees there are not using the desktops given to them to learn, but they're using them to serve the citizens that they're coming. So can those instruments at the same time be used to their own learning, while we also start making the mobile apps and put out the videos on the mobiles? Can some hours be dedicated to learning in the offices itself? Can we make our places centers of learning? In this context, we also spoke about that the government needs to really look at, in fact, what we have done in DOPT, Gopalji spoke about. We have mandated 6 learning hours, mandated course-wise, that has to be completed, and that will reflect in our APAs. States like Assam and other states have mandated that if you don't complete these courses, there will be no increment. So carrot and stick, can you start following that? Probably those are the learnings that we have had so far, and we as a policy making, it's a policy think tank body that CVC is. We are passing it on to MOA and whoever is interested in learning with us. Thank you.
Mr. Roy, I did a lot of capacity building in the US. So I'll tell you what happens. There's an entire literature on what is called the practice movement. It's called learning from practice to inform practice. And since 70s that has been formalized in the US. They do this. The problem which they face is a lot of the administrators have tacit knowledge. You tell them to do a job, they will do it, but you ask them how they've done, they'll not be able to explain. So that is one thing will come up again. But if you look at the practice movement, US has been doing it for 65 years now. The entire practice movement which has come, learning from practice to inform practice, all that is there.
We have also started off a community of practice, sir. So the employees or academics.
Not the community, I'm talking, there's a,
No, I'm saying
there are the elements of practice. I mean, they've done it for 50 years. Chal. Thank you. Any questions on this? Anybody? Anything? Chal. Okay, then we go to Nancy. Nancy is from the state government, the only one. Thank you, Nancy. Tell us, what do you think from the state view?
Good evening, sir, and thank you very much. So before coming to the state perspective, and I would like to speak about the very doable solutions, because we have talked a lot about the constraints and the issues and challenges, which must be very common to most of the states across the country. But before that, just let you know, sir, we have just completed the infrastructure of the Jharkhand Urban Planning and Management Institute, which is a dedicated research and training center for urban governance in the state. So, and we hope that this will turn out to be a pioneer step for the municipal administration in the state of Jharkhand. So when we talk of problems or constraints, so the main issues which we have already discussed about, and there are some solutions and some based on some feedback and observations from the very grassroots and ground level. Some of them we have implemented and some are in pipeline, sir. We talked about having stable municipal cadres. That I think is very important, because most of our ULBs, they rely on short-term contractual basis staff. The major issue is that nothing is more is very challenging, is that it leads to a loss of institutional memory, because if the staff is there for a very short time, so I think having those stable municipal cadres is a very, very important angle where, if we talk about these solutions. Sir, especially in context of Jharkhand, we have thought of developing multilingual training modules, sir, because we have many districts where we face language problems, mostly like the modules which we get from the ministry are in English or have a lot of technical terms. So, sir, so to simplify them, we plan to, we are doing that also, and we need to have some multilingual and simpler, sir, training modules for them. Sir, then the very important aspect is having a mandatory induction training for all the municipal recruits, including all kind of posts. Sir, a very interesting observation which I had when I came to DMA. Sir, last year we did a very good job, the state government. We recruited around 600 municipal staffs through the Staff Selection Commission, Jharkhand Staff Selection Commission. But interestingly, sir, we were not able to define their roles and responsibilities for nearly about 6 months. So, sir, when I joined, some of the staff from the ULBs, they came to me and then they were like, "Madam, humko karna kya hai?" And they had been there in the urban local body posted for around 6 months. So, sir, neither the म्यूनिसिपल कमिश्नर नॉट द एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिसर जहाँ भी वो सर काम कर रहे थे उनके हेड्स को भी ये नहीं पता था कि एग्जैक्टली उनसे क्या काम कराना है, स्पेशली फॉर सम स्पेसिफिक पोस्ट्स. सो सर समटाइम्स आई फील दैट व्हेन वी टेक अ वेरी रिफॉर्मेटिव स्टेप और अ गुड स्टेप द कंटिन्यूटी गोज मिसिंग. जैसे हमने सर रिक्रूट कर लिया, दैट वाज अ गुड अचीवमेंट. सर काफ़ी लोगों ने हमने अपनी सो कॉल्ड रिसोर्स क्रंच को सर कम किया, बट हमने उनको बताया ही नहीं सर कि उनको क्या करना है, एंड दैट टेलिंग them that took around 6 to 7 months. So we lost a lot of time there. So I think that is very important, that continuity in that process of making a change is always there. Sir, when we talk of like training, we don't have an earmarked fund in the ULB for the purpose of training. Most of the times it is allotted to the scheme, and with the closure of the scheme, that continuity in the training system like that suffers. So I think one good solution would be, sir, that if we could like earmark suppose 1% of the ULB budget for specific training purpose. So that could be one idea, sir. Also, I think, sir, there is a need to include the PPP and municipal finance modules in these circulars, because we are not letting them know how can they leverage funds apart from their own internal resources. So the financial crunch which they face, so I think they need to be also taught as to how can they use innovative and other methods, like maybe linking with the local banks or SIDBI or HUDCO. So these kind of training and orientation should be given to them, sir. Also, sir, we could think of developing a hybrid training module which which could be like both online and offline, especially for the small ULBs which have maybe poor internet access, and maybe also we need to equip them with the basic ICT infrastructure. This is specifically in context with our state, sir, where we have issues in especially the small ULBs and Nagar Parishads and Palikas in the tribal areas and other non-accessible areas. So also, I think we talked about the elected representatives, their training. So there also, I feel, sir, it's very important. Especially in our state, we have a lot of public representatives from the who are females. And as sir said, one of the speakers, that they have a very good vision. I completely agree to that, and I think we need to nurture that more so that they actually know their roles and how better they can help us in the capacity development and the overall development of the urban local body. So also, I think there is a need to integrate citizen feedback into the training evaluation program, which is important because they, all the stakeholders, right from the citizen to the public representative to the staff to the officers, everybody involved in this entire ecosystem of urban governance becomes very, very important, sir. Sir, also I have an observation and a query. In the first session, we heard a lot of training organizations and who are into capacity building. Sir, is there any provision, or could we think of empaneling a few of them with the ministry? Because sometimes there is a need to train or orient some of our staff or some particular category related to urban governance, जो हम लोग उनके साथ directly sir engage कर सकते. Because recently, sir, what happened, we were in the process of developing a livelihood action plan for one of our pilot districts in the NULM, new NULM phase, which is coming up in the ministry. So we had some fund allocated for that, sir, and then, but we had to go for a tender process, which took a lot of time. Ultimately, we have engaged with NIT Calicut. We heard him in the first session also. So we've started with that. But then again, the process was, sir, very tedious because we had to go through a very long process. So I just had an observation and a query as well. If we could have some renowned and some organizations which would be empaneled with Mahua, so that state governments on need basis and on some urgent basis could directly engage them. So that would be one suggestion where we could have more training, sir, in context of the number of trainings and also in more areas where the ULB or the state DMA, the directorate, would like to like have more of exposure to our people for training in different sectors. So that would be one suggestion, sir. So that is all, sir, I want to say. Thank you.
From the ground up, thank you very much. And you've endorsed so many things. Thank you very much. And this, of course, our chairman has noted this, and yeah.
I've noted your point, Nancy, especially with regard to your immediate requirement of the empanelment. I would get looked into this and would let you know very soon.
But empanelment with costing structure.
Yes. Yes. That is more important.
Yeah, costing.
Okay. Okay. We have noted this, and we'll get back to you.
Now,
yes, sir.
We'll come to Rakesh ji. Tell us something about the digital platform. You know, all this stuff we have been talking about, small bite size, 7 minutes, on the go, learning by doing, learning as you go. How do you do it digitally?
Sir.
And then, as Mr. S.N. Tripathi said, you won't like a driver who's never driven. So why not, how do you bring the hybrid part into that?
Sir, 3 years back, we got a mandate to build a platform to train 3 crore civil servants in the country. Huge diversity. Talking about state government, central government, urban local bodies, panchayati raj, and so on and so forth. In terms of diversity, you know, 2% Group A, 7% Group B, and remaining are Group C. Group A, because of Labasna and a police academy, Hyderabad, and so on and so forth, they have a structured learning pathways. They go for training phase-wise. Challenge comes for the Group C people. So before forming IGOT, what we have done, we've done a 6-month massive exercise of consultation with the various stakeholders. We spoke to Korea, we spoke to UK, we spoke to Australia, asked them their model. We spoke to Flixwala, we spoke to Byju's, we spoke to Upgrade, and so on and so forth. And they have given us a few models to work on this. After doing all this, we had two options. Either we can take a Singapore model where they have a white label solutions, use Coursera or Udemy kind of platform, make it a white label and make up and running from a day one. Second challenge was DPI way, build from scratch, the way we have built UPI, Aadhaar and so on and so forth. In last 3 years, so I remember January 2023, we hardly had 80 courses and 2 lakh people. Today we have 1.4 crore people on the platform, 4,000 plus courses. It's all possible because of 3 design principles: empowerment, evolving, enablement. We keep evolving based on our requirement coming from our state government, ULBs, and other stakeholders. New feature like case studies. Sir spoke about how can we invite our ex-bureaucrats, record them on a public policy, municipal governance. We're doing it also. They are very modular, very bite-sized, 1 hour courses, 2 hour course max, okay? I think what we have learned also, I think pre-COVID, it was largely kind of a physical training was happening across government, PSUs or the private sector also. I think we learned that e-learning behavior during the COVID time. I think the future is blended. So what is happening now, like in Labasna, Missouri now, before the new batch goes to Labasna, they are doing 30 hours of learning online before they go physical one. So I think we to search for those blending also. See the scale we have in ULBs, 5,000 plus ULBs, 20 lakh plus people. We can't do it by a physical way. Only way would be how to use AI. So what we've done in AI also now there's a need to build a capacity building plan for all the ULBs. We can't do it by a manual way or an old school way. Only way would be, in last couple of months, we have built a now AI tool also. The moment you insert few documents like ULB annual report, rule allocation order also, it give you beautiful competency link learning pathway with the demands also, okay? Then we have partner like JERAS, all the IITs, ISB, they get a demand available, gaps available also. We can make very beautiful blended option also available. So the future would be, I think I have 2 requests for the audience also. How we can onboard all the ULB on IGOT in a time-bound manner. I think we're working with the NULP also on this. As on today, we have around 1.5 lakh audio on board now, work in progress. Second request would be, today I think all the IITs are now partnered with IGOT now. So my request would be NIT Calicut, JERAS and other partner, if they can come together, have a structured way. How do you source the content on the IGOT now? But 2 cents on this. Thank you.
I'll just say something for you.
Sir.
2014 when I joined MAUA, it was MOUD then. So the CBUD program was there. And money was there for 3 years and it was not being spent. So we entirely reinvented. I'll tell you the basic things which happen. With numbers, measurement errors come, then the target becomes the number. And so what we did was very interesting. We would have 3 days by some 20, 30 institutions training, which you could do now digitally. After that, we teach them first time, then they go back. Every month we ask them, how much of the training did you use? And you know what results we got? Not even 5%. Then we said, next 3 days, revise it. They revised it. Next time, 12%. What you are training is not useful. They're not using it. You understanding? So that was amazing information for us, and we didn't know how to get out of it. We were training, they were coming for a change, and they liked all this because there was compulsion and force and all that, and it was free because World Bank was funding. But it was not working. You think of that.
No, absolutely, sir.
I'll just tell you. That is one. The other was, in the end, we took them to a case. And that case also, they were happy, but to the particular case, the moment you bring administrators, what we are seeing, case studies, they're so particular and they're so personal. How do you generalize it? how do you universalize it? How do you adapt? You will come up this. We came up across this in 2015. And we tried to do that. So these few things which we had done, and there were 20-25 institutions who were impaneled throughout India who were doing it at the grassroots level. So this is something you have to think of, it's intractable. I mean, you may do training, you may get numbers. And then the next thing we wanted was, if I've trained him as a sweeper or as a water plumber or something, what are people saying? Has the services, see, why are you doing training? So services improve, ultimately people.
Absolutely.
So you have to capture two things. Does the trainee himself feel 3 months working? You ask them the question, how much have you used? And the next is, people, has anything changed? His behavior changed? Is he more polite? Otherwise, you know, where you going?
No, you're right, sir. I think, sir, it's a work in progress. I think data we have. I think you're right. I think in terms of the change, we need to work more on this. I agree, sir.
The numbers you'll get, 1.5 lakh, 2 lakh. You also used to get every 3 months. But when we went in and we found all this, then we found the quality was not there. I mean, we were doing something. Some training was happening, they were doing, coming, but it was not helping them in the work. And number two, it was not going up to the citizens. Yeah. Now, Dr. Sudhi Krishna has some comments, please.
I wanted, you see, very rightly, Dr. Samir has said that, you know, at the end of it, what is gained. So the thing is, we have to have the identification of training need assessment also, assessment of the training needs before we, you know, uniformly propose, and different levels. I just want to share one instance, mass scale training, what you mentioned about. So in 2010, I was additional secretary in Ministry of Panchayati Raj. And we had a program for capacity building for local governments there, for panchayat institutions. And as it happens, we had a lot of money actually under different programs running into, I mean, tens of crores of rupees, and expenditure was not even 5% of that, because people did not know how to do about training panchayat representatives. And there were lakhs of them. So what we did, one experiment we made, and madam, you mentioned about the procurement of training institutions. Now, of course, 2017 in Government of India, manual of procurement of services has come. 17. Before that, there was no manual also. At that time, there was no manual how to procure services. So what we did was, we had a unique program from UNDP where leeway was more, degree of freedom with me was more. I did not have to refer to IFA and so on and so forth. So long as I do the thing right way as per the GFR, it is okay. I don't have to refer to. So using that, we developed the manuals for procurement of training institutions. Ourselves, we did in-house. We prepared. Of course, not alone somebody did. We took the help of some institutions, like some banks and so on. And then with that, and we notified that we will propose to conduct 3-day training program for all panchayat members in the whole country. All panchayat members. Some 20 lakh number listed. And then we did not, because SIRD is totally inadequate. They had no capacity to do even 20,000. 20 lakh is a big number. And so, I think, sir, you were there, that you were there. He was in charge of Panchayat in Orissa. And we advertised in the paper saying that any institution which is willing to participate in this, I invited, and we conducted training program in Ashoka Hotel, the big convention hall, the biggest hall in Delhi at that time. It was there. I don't know, today bigger halls have come up. And then a lot of people came. The hall was full. Hall was full of, you know, all NGOs and, you know, institutions. Of course, government institutions, very few. Lot of NGOs came. And we told them, look here, the training program will be there, but entirely as per state acts and rules. Don't go on preaching panchayat members about 73rd, 74th amendment, okay? Because they have to follow the state laws, which are under the 73rd, 74th. They don't bother about the constitution. That is taken care of in the state laws and manual. You follow that, and the state government will give you the training program. 3-day training program, this is a scale. We will provide the scale, because funds we are funding, scale we provided. And then we said that now, we all explained whatever has to be done. And then we said that in the evening, 2 minutes only, in the evening, all the institutions should make up their mind which state they want to follow, we want to participate. And tomorrow morning we will meet and there are desk round table. So on this side, the state government officers, on that side, the institutions who wanted to participate for that state. They met, then in your state bhavan, go and have lunch. They had lunch in the state bhavan, and then as you participate in the bidding process, those who are interested, they will participate. And I tell you that the 3-year training program, I cannot vouch for uniform quality. But the emotional part that panchayat members felt that they were taken for training somewhere itself was a training. The feeling was there, I was considered good enough for training. As we mentioned, we don't know what to do. And 20 lakh persons were trained. You know, it is the first. I do not know why it was not repeated because my term was over, training was over, we got report, it was done, and so on. And no complaint came of mismanagement of funds, etc. So I'm just telling you that it is possible, but state training framework has to be adopted for state programs of local bodies. It cannot be central framework. That's the suggestion. Thank you.
So your KPI should not be number. Your KPI should be, did it make a difference to the citizen? And your KPI should be, did that person say, yes, I'm empowered, I performed better? And you see the results. Then you will really know what is the need assessment. Just change your KPI from numbers to this, see what happens. We struggled. Yeah. So I think that is what we'll end now. And I'll leave the last words to a chairperson.
Now, let me say formally that yes, now we are going to conclude this session, and very enriching discussions which have taken place. A lot of key points have come up, of course, some as a solution, some as a kind of a roadmap also to how to go ahead further. Few also came with regard to the constraints which we basically highlighted. But yes, some of them are relevant, and we are trying to actually consolidate each and every such important inputs so that we will be in a position to present it before the Honorable Minister tomorrow. And yeah, that's the main point. And also I would like to express my thanks to each one of the panelist members over here for your such a precious time you have given, you enriched the discussion, gave your suggestions and various other inputs as well. I am also thankful to all the participants who have stayed with us so far and who have listened to us. Yes, some of them have also raised some questions, very important questions and very good points also you made. Thankful to my NIUA partners, all who have done a lot of work in the background and made this particular breakout session a very successful one, rather I can say. And to my capacity building team in Mahua, thanks a lot for coming over here and then making everything possible. So thank you once again to the moderator, especially Sir, Samir Sir. Thank you so much for always supporting me and always coming forward and moderating this particular session. Thanks to each and every one of you. Thank you. And thank you. Now over to you.
Before we close, I'd request the panelists to please congregate for a group picture.